Carole Lombard was a Hollywood icon, adored for her beauty and talent, but her life ended tragically in a plane crash that shocked the world. But what really happened on that fateful flight? And why was she on that flight, risking everything? Early stardom. She was born Jane Alice Peters on October 6, 1908 in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The youngest of 3 children, she moved to Los Angeles with her mother after her parents separated in 1916. Her entry into Hollywood came early. At just 12, she was discovered by director Alan Dwan while playing baseball. This chance encounter led to a small role in the 1921 film A Perfect Crime. Lombard's career truly began in the silent film era. She signed with Fox Film Corporation in 1924 at the age of 16. During this period, she appeared in several films, but a severe car accident in 1925 almost ended her budding career. A scar on her face required plastic surgery, and Fox dropped her contract. Undeterred, she continued to pursue acting. In 1927, she joined the cast of The Plastic Age, starring Clara Bow. This film marked her transition to a more significant role in Hollywood. The same year, she signed a contract with Max Sennett, known for his slapstick comedies. This period honed her comedic skills, which later defined her career. By 1930, she moved to Paramount Pictures, where she gained more substantial roles. Fast and Loose, 1930, was one of her first notable films with Paramount. In 1934, she starred in 20th Century, directed by Howard Hawks. This film was a turning point, establishing her as a top comedic actress. Critics praised her performance, with one stating, "Lombard's wit and charm light up the screen." During the 1930s, her career flourished. She starred in hits like My Man Godfrey, 1936, which earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress. Her performance as Irene Bullock was lauded, showcasing her comedic timing and dramatic talent. The film also starred William Powell, her ex-husband. Despite their divorce in 1933, they remained close friends and professional partners. A defining moment came in 1939 with Made for Each Other, co-starring James Stewart. The film highlighted her versatility, moving seamlessly between comedy and drama. That same year, she married Clark Gable, Hollywood's leading man. Their relationship was closely followed by the public, making them one of the most glamorous couples in the industry. Her ability to draw audiences was evident in box office successes like To Be or Not to Be, 1942. Directed by Ernst Lubitsch, this film was released posthumously and is considered one of her best performances. Her portrayal of Maria Tura, a Polish actress involved in a resistance plot against the Nazis, was both comedic and poignant. In interviews, she often expressed her love for acting and dedication to her craft. "I want to play a variety of roles," she said, "to grow as an actress and to entertain." Her colleagues admired her work ethic and vibrant personality. Director Mitchell Leisen once remarked, "Carole had a natural talent that few could match. She brought life to every scene." By the early 1940s, Lombard had solidified her place as one of Hollywood's brightest stars. Her films were not just popular, but also critically acclaimed, reflecting her talent and hard work. Hollywood's leading lady, Carole Lombard's career reached new heights in the 1930s. By then, she had become one of Hollywood's most sought-after actresses. Her versatility and comedic talent set her apart. One of her early successes at Paramount Pictures was No Man of Her Own, 1932, where she starred opposite Clark Gable. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable, foreshadowing their future off-screen romance. In 1934, 20th Century was released, directed by Howard Hawks. This screwball comedy was a significant milestone. Critics and audiences praised her performance as Lily Garland, a temperamental actress. The New York Times called her a delightful discovery, and her comedic timing became a hallmark of her career. This role cemented her status as a top-tier actress. Lombard's ability to balance comedy with drama was evident in Hands Across the Table, 1935, where she starred with Fred MacMurray. The film was a box office hit, showcasing her range as an actress. She continued this trend with The Princess Comes Across, 1936, and My Man Godfrey, 1936. In the latter, Her role as Irene Bullock, a zany socialite, earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress. Her ex-husband, William Powell, played the title role, and their on-screen dynamic was electric. Throughout the late 1930s, Lombard starred in a series of successful films. Nothing Sacred, 1937, directed by William A. Wellman, was a notable success. It was one of the first Technicolor screwball comedies and showcased her comedic brilliance. Her performance as Hazel Flagg, a woman pretending to be dying, was both hilarious and touching. Another highlight was True Confession, 1937, where she played a woman who falsely confessed to a murder. Her knack for blending humor with more serious themes was a testament to her skill. In Fools for Scandal, 1938, she continued to shine, although the film itself received mixed reviews. Even in less successful projects, her performances were often the redeeming factor. Off-screen, Lombard was known for her lively personality and dedication to her craft. She was frequently quoted as saying, "I live to act," reflecting her passion for her work. Directors and co-stars often praised her professionalism. Fred MacMurray once said, "Working with Carole was a joy. She was always prepared and brought such energy to the set." In 1939, her career and personal life intertwined dramatically. She married Clark Gable on March 29, 1939, in Kingman, Arizona. The marriage was highly publicized, as both were major Hollywood stars. Their union was seen as a perfect match, and they quickly became Hollywood royalty. Lombard's films continued to be successful in the early 1940s. Vigil in the Night, 1940, showcased her dramatic talents, while Mr. and Mrs. Smith, 1941, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, returned her to her comedic roots. The latter film was notable for being Hitchcock's only foray into screwball comedy. Her role as Anne Smith, a woman who discovers her marriage is legally invalid, was both charming and witty. Her final completed film, To Be or Not to Be, 1942, directed by Ernst Lubitsch, was a masterpiece. Released after her death, it remains one of her most acclaimed performances. Her portrayal of Maria Tura, an actress caught in a resistance plot during World War II, combined humor and drama seamlessly. The film's success posthumously affirmed her status as one of the greatest actresses of her time. The Las Vegas Rally. Her participation in the War Bond Rally in Las Vegas was one of the defining moments of her patriotic efforts during World War II. On January 15, 1942, she arrived in Indianapolis, accompanied by her mother, Elizabeth Peters, and MGM publicity man, Otto Winkler. She was ready to inspire the public to support the war effort through financial contributions. The rally was held at the Indiana State House, where thousands of enthusiastic supporters gathered to see Lombard. Her star power was undeniable, and her passionate speech resonated with the crowd. "We can't all be soldiers," she declared, "but we can all be soldiers' helpers, buying bonds to support our boys on the front lines." Her words struck a chord, and the rally was a resounding success. By the end of the event, Lombard and her team had raised over $2 million in war bonds. This achievement was remarkable, showcasing her ability to mobilize public support and her commitment to the national cause. The success of the rally was a testament to her dedication and the deep respect she commanded among her fans. Following the Indianapolis event, Lombard planned to return to Los Angeles. She initially considered traveling by train, a safer option during the uncertain times of wartime aviation. However, eager to reunite with her husband, Clark Gable, she opted for the quicker route by air. Despite her mother's reservations about flying, her determination to return home prevailed. As they boarded the flight, the mood was hopeful. Lombard's team was in high spirits, celebrating their successful mission. They had accomplished what they set out to do, inspired by her unwavering patriotism and charisma. The ill-fated flight. On January 16, 1942, Carole Lombard, her mother, Elizabeth Peters, and MGM publicity man Otto Winkler boarded TWA Flight 3 in Indianapolis. The Douglas DC-3 aircraft was set to make stops in St. Louis and Albuquerque before reaching its final destination, Los Angeles. The crew consisted of Captain Wayne Williams, First Officer Morgan Gillette, and Stewardess Alice Getz. The journey started smoothly, with the plane making its scheduled stops. When the flight landed in Las Vegas for refueling, it was behind schedule, but this was not unusual given the wartime conditions. Despite concerns about flying, Lombard was determined to return home quickly to be with her husband Clark Gable. At approximately 7:07 p.m., TUA Flight 3 took off from Las Vegas, heading towards Burbank, California. The flight path included navigating through mountainous terrain, a challenge compounded by poor visibility and heavy cloud cover that evening. The pilots were following the Civil Aeronautics Administration's airway, which relied on radio beacons to guide them. Shortly after takeoff, the aircraft veered dangerously off course. The crew, possibly disoriented by the challenging weather conditions, failed to maintain the correct altitude. At around 7:20 p.m., just 13 minutes after leaving Las Vegas, the plane crashed into Potosi Mountain, approximately 32 miles southwest of Las Vegas. The impact was devastating. The crash site, located at an altitude of about 7,700 feet, was remote and difficult to access. The force of the collision scattered the wreckage over a wide area. Rescuers faced treacherous conditions, battling snow and rugged terrain, with all 22 passengers and crew members on board killed instantly. News of the crash quickly reached the public, sending shockwaves across the nation. Search and rescue teams were dispatched immediately, but the rough terrain and inclement weather hampered their efforts. It took hours to locate the wreckage and confirm that there were no survivors. The official investigation into the crash was led by the Civil Aeronautics Board, CAB. Their report concluded that the primary cause of the accident was pilot error. The crew's failure to follow the designated flight path and maintain the correct altitude led to a tragic collision with the mountain. The report also noted the challenging weather conditions as a contributing factor. Clark Gable, devastated by the loss of his wife, flew to Las Vegas to identify the bodies and handle funeral arrangements. His grief was profound, as Lombard had been the love of his life. He was seen as inconsolable, a man broken by the tragedy. In the immediate aftermath, there was an outpouring of grief from Hollywood and the public. Lombard's colleagues and fans were shocked by her sudden death. Tributes poured in, recognizing her contributions to the film industry and her patriotic efforts. She was honored posthumously for her dedication to the war effort, with President Franklin D. Roosevelt praising her commitment and courage. The tragic crash of TWA Flight 3 not only ended the life of a beloved actress, but also underscored the perils of wartime aviation. It brought to light the need for improved safety measures in air travel, especially under wartime conditions. Carole Lombard's final journey, marked by her dedication to supporting the war effort, ended in tragedy. Her death left a void in Hollywood and in the hearts of those who admired her. Investigation and findings. In the wake of the tragic crash of TWA Flight 3, the Civil Aeronautics Board, CAB, launched an official investigation to determine the cause of the accident. The goal was to understand what had led to the plane's fatal descent into Potosi Mountain and to prevent such tragedies in the future. Investigators faced challenging conditions at the crash site. The wreckage was scattered across a remote and rugged area of the mountain, making it difficult to piece together the events leading up to the crash. Despite these obstacles, the KB conducted a thorough examination of the evidence. The investigation revealed that TWA Flight 3 had deviated from its intended flight path. The primary cause was attributed to pilot error. Captain Wayne Williams and First Officer Morgan Gillette, both experienced pilots, had misjudged their altitude and course. Poor weather conditions, including heavy cloud cover and low visibility, contributed to the disorientation. The KAB's final report, released later in 1942, concluded that the pilots had failed to follow the designated airway properly. Instead of maintaining the required altitude to clear the mountainous terrain, the plane descended too low. This error, combined with the challenging weather, led to the collision with Potosi Mountain. The report emphasized that the crew had not used all available navigational aids, which might have helped avoid the crash. In addition to pilot error, the investigation highlighted the need for better navigational aids and improved training for pilots operating in difficult conditions. The KAB recommended several changes to aviation protocols, including stricter adherence to flight plans and better use of radio beacons and other navigational tools. The findings of the investigation were crucial in prompting changes in aviation safety standards. Airlines and regulatory bodies took the recommendations seriously, leading to enhancements in pilot training, navigational equipment, and flight safety procedures. These changes aim to reduce the risk of similar accidents in the future. The crash of TWA Flight 3 also led to increased scrutiny of airline operations during wartime. With many commercial flights carrying military personnel and essential wartime materials, ensuring the safety of air travel became even more critical. The lessons learned from the investigation were applied broadly across the aviation industry, contributing to improved safety measures that benefited both military and civilian flights. For Clark Gable, the findings of the investigation brought some closure, though they did little to alleviate his grief. Understanding the cause of the crash helped him and others affected by the tragedy come to terms with the loss. Gable continued to honor Lombard's memory through his service in the Army Air Corps, finding a sense of purpose in contributing to the war effort. The CAB's thorough investigation and the subsequent changes in aviation practices highlighted the importance of continuous improvement in flight safety. Carole Lombard's death, while a profound loss, contributed to significant advancements in the field, ensuring greater safety for future air travelers. Her final journey. Lombard's funeral service took place on January 21, 1942, at the Church of the Recessional in Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Glendale. The service was attended by Hollywood's elite, including her friends, colleagues, and admirers. The media coverage was extensive, reflecting the public's deep interest in and affection for Lombard. Her final resting place in the Forest Lawn Memorial Park became a site of pilgrimage for fans and admirers who came to pay their respects. The service was dignified and heartfelt. Reverend Glenn Randolph delivered the eulogy, capturing the essence of Lombard's life and spirit. Carole Lombard was a beacon of joy and laughter, he said, a woman who brought light into the lives of those she touched. He spoke of her remarkable career, her love for Clark Gable, and her unwavering dedication to her country during the war effort. The funeral included several personal tributes. Actress Madeline Field, one of Lombard's closest friends, shared poignant memories from their time together in Hollywood. Carole had an infectious energy, Field recalled. She was always the life of the party, always there to support her friends. Her words painted a vivid picture of Lombard's warmth and generosity. As the service concluded, Gable, visibly moved, stood to say a few final words. His voice trembled as he spoke of his love for Lombard and the profound impact she had on his life. "She was my everything," he said simply. "I will carry her memory with me always." His heartfelt tribute deeply touched those in attendance. The funeral procession to Lombard's final resting place was a solemn affair. As her casket was lowered into the ground, there was a palpable sense of loss among the mourners. Gable, surrounded by close friends and family, stayed by the graveside for several moments, saying a private goodbye to his beloved wife. In the days and weeks that followed, tributes to Lombard continued to pour in from across the country. Hollywood paused to remember one of its brightest stars, and the public mourned the loss of a beloved figure. Her final film, To Be or Not to Be, was released posthumously in March 1942, receiving critical acclaim and serving as a fitting tribute to her talent and legacy. Clark Gable's tribute. The death of Carole Lombard was a crushing blow to Clark Gable, who had lost not only his wife but also his closest confidant and beloved partner. In the days following the tragic accident, Gable struggled to cope with the overwhelming grief. Friends and colleagues noted that he was a changed man, deeply affected by the sudden loss of Lombard. Gable, known for his strong and stoic public persona, found himself at a loss. The couple had been married for less than 3 years, but their relationship had been intense and passionate. Gable described her as his soulmate, and her death left a void in his life that he struggled to fill. In the immediate aftermath of the crash, Gable's actions spoke volumes about his love for his wife. He personally identified her body and those of her mother and Otto Winkler, a task that left him visibly shaken. The experience was harrowing, but it was one Gable felt he needed to endure himself. "It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do," he reportedly confided to a close friend. Determined to honor Lombard's memory, Gable sought ways to channel his grief into something meaningful. In June 1942, just months after her death, he enlisted in the United States Army Air Corps. This decision was both a tribute to Lombard's patriotic spirit and a reflection of his own desire to contribute to the war effort, something she had been passionately involved in before her death. Gable's enlistment was a significant event. He was 41 years old at the time, an age when most would not consider military service, especially given his stature as a Hollywood icon. However, his commitment was unwavering. He underwent basic training at Miami Beach and then attended officer candidate school, graduating as a second lieutenant. The press widely covered his decision to join the military, and it resonated with the public as a powerful gesture of dedication and love. During his service, Gable was assigned to the 1st Motion Picture Unit, where he helped produce propaganda and training films. However, he also saw active duty. In 1943, he was sent to Europe as part of a 6-man film crew to document aerial gunners missions for the Army Air Forces. Gable flew 5 combat missions over Germany, earning the Air Medal and the Distinguished Flying Cross for his bravery. Gable's service was a way to stay close to Lombard in spirit. He carried a photograph of her with him, drawing strength from her memory during difficult moments. Fellow soldiers noted his quiet determination and the personal drive that seemed to fuel his actions. "He was doing it for Carole," one of his comrades recalled. "Everything he did over there was in her name." After the war, Gable returned to Hollywood, but he was never the same. The loss of Lombard had left an indelible mark on him. Though he continued to work and delivered several memorable performances, those who knew him well sensed a change. He threw himself into his roles, perhaps finding solace in the craft that had brought him and Lombard together.
Hollywood has seen many stars, but there are some that are just unforgettable. Lonnie Anderson, the sensational TV star who made waves in the 70s, is a clear example of a Hollywood star who is both irreplaceable and unforgettable. From 1966 to date, Lonnie has shown the world what it means to be a phenomenal actress. Over the years, she has risen above the storms of life and etched her name in the history of Hollywood. She may be in her 70s right now, but she looks nothing like her age, and it may surprise you to know that she is still acting. This gorgeous and talented actress has led a life that is worth emulating, and these mind-blowing facts about her will surely leave you shocked and inspired at the same time. Why she decided to teach. In the 70s and 80s, Lonnie was living the life of a superstar, and she was loving it. However, most people don't know what her life looked like before the fame. In her early 20s, she made certain decisions that left her on the brink of poverty, and she had no choice but to take on certain jobs to support herself and her baby. See, Lonnie Anderson has always been one to turn lemons into lemonades, and her attitude towards a broken marriage was not any different. Before she got famous, the actress was living a normal life. Sure, she had the makings of a superstar, but she had not caught the acting bug yet. So her focus at the time was building a family with a man she had fallen in love with, Bruce Hasselberg. The couple later welcomed a beautiful daughter, but things quickly went sour. Their marriage ended in a divorce before Lonnie even turned 21, and she was left to fend for herself and her baby. This was one of the most trying times in Lonnie's life, especially because she didn't plan on ending up alone at such a young age with such a huge responsibility. However, instead of running away from her problems, she decides to face the situation head-on. Lonnie made up her mind to do everything in her power to fend for her child, even if it meant taking on a teaching job. Sure, she was young, but she was also determined to build a better life for herself. The marriage may have ended, but she soon realized that she had her whole life ahead of her and she had the power to transform her life. So she took on a teaching position and poured her heart into it. As she was teaching, she also used the opportunity to complete college, knowing well that being educated will open more doors for her in future. Soon enough, she was able to earn enough to take care of herself and provide her daughter's basic needs. This phase of her life is not one that a lot of people know about, but it surely contributed to making her the resilient person she is known as today. Since then, Lonnie has taken every challenge that life has thrown her way and turned it around for her good. She is truly a fighter, and success is never far from people like her. More than a sex symbol. In an industry where beauty is an acceptable currency, Lonnie wanted to offer more than just beauty. The world saw her as a sex symbol, but she wanted more for herself. There is no denying that Lonnie Anderson was on top of the world in the peak years of her career, and her looks contributed greatly to her success. Her timeless beauty possessed an ethereal allure with her cascading golden locks, sparkling azure eyes that mirrored the vast skies of admiration, and a captivating smile that could light up the darkest rooms. Her curvaceous silhouette and graceful demeanor enchanted audiences and made it easy for her to stay relevant at a time when physical attractiveness was in high demand in the industry. When her star began to rise, people fell in love with her for a lot of reasons. Some loved her acting skills, while others fell in love with her looks. Her presence on screens reminded people of the likes of Jane Mansfield and Marilyn Monroe, and as much as she loved being associated with those names, there was a part of her that wanted more. Being seen as a sex symbol got her a lot of fame and attention, but she knew that she had more to offer, so she decided to do everything in her power to show her fans that her skills were mind-blowing. As her career progressed, she started working towards becoming a more versatile actress and being loved for more than just her physical looks. With every role she took on, she strategically showcased her diverse skills and made career decisions that allowed her to show the world what she was capable of. Unlike a lot of actresses who were not able to break free from the sex symbol tag, Lonnie strategically worked on her career until people began to see beyond her looks and endowed body. These days, when her name is mentioned in a room, people remember her as the phenomenal actress who embodied diverse roles and gave her fans performances they will never forget. It is impossible to refer to her as just a sex symbol because she has made it clear to the world that she is way more than that. She is a versatile actress who can transform herself into different characters in different genres. From drama to comedy and many more genres, Lonnie Anderson has been unstoppable over the years. You would agree that it takes a certain level of stubbornness and persistence for a celebrity to change the image that people have of them. Lonnie Anderson stopped at nothing till she became the actress that she dreamed of becoming, and her tenacity inspires several women till date. Bold advocate. When she came into the industry, it wasn't just about the glitz and glam for her. She had her eyes set on more. She wasn't just here to be a famous actress. She wanted to be a trailblazer, a force to be reckoned with in the industry. One look at Lonnie Anderson's career exploits, and one can tell that the actress has always been determined to empower women and speak up when she felt like women were treated unfairly. She was not just your average Hollywood starlet, but a fierce advocate for equal opportunities and a champion for women everywhere. From the pinnacle of her career to the present day, she's been on a relentless mission to support and uplift her fellow women. It's like she took a superhero oath to fight for equality, and boy, did she deliver. There is no denying that unequal pay has been the thorn in the side of the entertainment industry for ages. But when Lonnie Anderson strolled in, she wasn't having any of it. She rolled up her sleeves, fixed her gaze on the inequality bullseye, and declared war. Lonnie became a trailblazer in demanding equal pay, making waves as one of the first female celebs to throw down the gauntlet on WKRP in Cincinnati. In a world where the pay gap was as wide as the Grand Canyon, Lonnie stood tall and said, "Enough is enough." But she didn't just stop at demanding equal pay. She became a beacon of empowerment for women everywhere. Her actions echoed louder than any script she ever delivered. Lonnie Anderson wasn't just another actress. She was a fierce advocate for change, a catalyst for a shift in the status quo. Fast forward to today, and Lonnie's legacy is etched in the annals of Hollywood. She's not just a name on the Walk of Fame, she's a symbol of resilience, a reminder that one person can spark a revolution. In a world where inequality still rears its ugly head, Lonnie Anderson, her life shows what happens when a woman possesses the power of determination, when a woman refuses to let the spotlight dim the fire within her. She raises awareness for cancer research and COPD. If there is someone who believes that her voice makes a difference, it's Lonnie Anderson. Over the years, the actress has spoken boldly and supported causes that matter to her regardless of what people have said. Clearly, there's so much more to this lady than meets the eye. Not many people know this about the actress, but Lonnie, the powerhouse herself, boldly stepped into the ring against breast cancer, and she beat it. Yep, she didn't just beat it, she gave it a knockout punch. But instead of just sipping margaritas by the beach after her victory, she decided to dive headfirst into the world of advocacy. This incredible woman raised her voice like a rock star for cancer research. She became a beacon of hope, shining a light on the importance of awareness. And let's not forget the cold, hard cash needed to fund the research that can save lives. She selflessly donated to this cause. She would have easily used the money to acquire luxurious items for herself, just like a lot of celebrities do. But she decided that it was better to put her funds into a project that would better the lives of others and help people that have cancer. Knowing that she was contributing to cancer research gave her a sense of fulfillment and purpose. Interestingly, Lonnie Anderson didn't stop at just one fight. Nope, she grabbed the mic again, this time for COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Why, you ask? Well, it turns out her parents were in a serious relationship with cigarettes, and it affected their health so much that they ended up with COPD. Lonnie saw the toll it took on her family, and she made up her mind not to let others go through what her folks endured. It's safe to say that Lonnie Anderson is the unsung hero, fighting battles off-screen, using her voice not just to entertain but to make a real difference in the world. Whether it's cancer or COPD, she's there, a fierce advocate with a heart as big as Hollywood. She's proving that a glamorous Hollywood life can come with a side of meaningful impact. Resilient through the storms. Now, we've all heard tales of celebrities who crumble under the weight of fame, but not Lonnie. She's got a determination and perseverance that could give anyone in the entertainment industry a run for their money. The road she's traveled has been anything but smooth, marked by challenges and a fair share of highly publicized, tumultuous relationships that had the tabloids working overtime. One of the most challenging phases of her life was her high-profile marriage to Reynolds in 1988. It started off like a Hollywood fairy tale, blissful moments, an adopted son named Quentin, but the script quickly flipped. The fairy tale turned into a roller coaster hurtling towards a nasty divorce in 1993 that left both stars with their reputations hanging by a thread. And you know what the beautiful thing is? Despite the relentless scrutiny and public fallout, Lonnie Anderson didn't crumble. Nope, not her. She found a way to rise above it all, navigating through the stormy seas of tabloid chaos with an admirable grace. Imagine the headlines, the whispers, the judgment. It's enough to shake anyone to their core, but not Lonnie. She stood tall, weathering the storms of tumultuous marriages and personal problems with a resilience that's truly awe-inspiring. Her career may have faced some turbulence along the way, but she emerged from the chaos with her spirit unbroken. She is like an unsinkable ship sailing through the unpredictable waters of fame, through marriages that made headlines and personal struggles that would make anyone falter. She not only endured, but triumphed. In a town where the spotlight can burn, Lonnie's resilience shines like a beacon, proving that sometimes the most beautiful stars are the ones that withstand the toughest storms. This Hollywood legend has shown us the true meaning of grace under pressure. She spread her wings. Many people know Lonnie as an actress, but not many people know that this sensational actress has also worked as a producer. From the very beginning of her career, Lonnie made a conscious effort to stand out. In a town where everyone's vying for the spotlight, she found her own spotlight and shone brilliantly. It wasn't just about the looks or the charisma. It was about that extra something that made Lonnie uniquely herself. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Lonnie Anderson wasn't content with just being in front of the camera. No, she decided to spread her wings and venture into the world of production. Now that takes guts. Imagine stepping out of the comfort zone of being a celebrated actress to take charge behind the scenes. One of her notable ventures into production was the TV movie White Hot: The Mysterious Murder of Thelma Todd, where she not only starred, but also wore the producer's hat. It's one thing to take on a challenging role, but it's a whole different ballgame to oversee the entire production. Yet, Lonnie wasn't one to shy away from challenges. She embraced them. But Lonnie Anderson didn't stop there. She went on to produce another TV movie titled Sorry, Wrong Number, showcasing not only her acting prowess, but also her knack for bringing compelling stories to the screen. It's a bold move to invest not just your talent, but your time and resources into creating your own works. And that's exactly what Lonnie did. And let's not forget her foray into sitcom production with Easy Street. It's like she said, "Why settle for just one role when I can wear multiple hats?" She took charge, made decisions, and brought her creative vision to life. Lonnie Anderson didn't just follow the Hollywood script, she wrote her own. From captivating audiences as an actress to making waves as a producer, she's proven that true greatness lies in the courage to stand out and take charge. This Hollywood icon is not just a star on the screen, but a force behind it, rewriting the rules and leaving her mark in the industry. Staying relevant in the industry. A lot of people believe that when an actress gets older, it becomes difficult for such an actress to survive in the industry. This is because younger actresses are usually prioritized when it comes to acting opportunities, but Lonnie's story has been different over the years, and at over 78 years young, Lonnie is still very much a force to be reckoned with in the entertainment industry. Now, that's not just impressive, it's downright inspiring. She hasn't let age become a roadblock. Instead, she's turned it into a stepping stone to showcase that talent knows no expiration date. While others might be contemplating retirement, Lonnie remains an active and vibrant presence in the industry. She has refused to slow down because there's still so much to explore and share. Her commitment to her craft is nothing short of admirable. What's even more remarkable is that she's not just sitting pretty, she's diving headfirst into various projects. Television appearances? Check. Charity events? Absolutely. Lonnie Anderson isn't just relevant. She's an integral part of the entertainment landscape, proving that age is but a number. Interestingly, she's slated to feature in a Lifetime film, Ladies of the 80s: A Diva's Christmas. Lonnie isn't just making appearances, she's securing leading roles and keeping the audience hooked with her undeniable charm and talent. In a world that often dismisses seasoned actresses, Lonnie Anderson is a beacon of resilience and tenacity. She's showing the industry and the world that there's so much more to offer beyond the stereotypes associated with age. Every day that passes by, she proves that staying relevant isn't about fighting against time, but dancing with it, embracing every chapter of life, and showing that the spotlight belongs to those who continue to shine, no matter how many candles are on their birthday cake. The selfless philanthropist. You know, Lonnie Anderson isn't just a fantastic actress, she's got a heart of gold too. One mind-blowing fact about her is that she's been making a real impact through her philanthropic endeavors. It's not just about the glitz and glamour of Hollywood for her. She's dedicated to making a positive difference. One shining example of her commitment is the Celebrity Recognition Award she received from the American Cancer Society. Now picture this, Lonnie, not just gracing our screens with her talent, but also being recognized for her efforts in the fight against cancer. This award isn't just a shiny trophy, it represents the tireless work she's put into supporting cancer-related causes. It's like a big thumbs up from the universe, acknowledging her significant contributions. You can almost see her not just as a TV icon, but as a real-life hero, standing up for something bigger than herself. And it doesn't stop there. Lonnie's involvement in philanthropy goes beyond awards and recognition. She's actively working to make the world a better place, showing that kindness is just as glamorous as any Hollywood premiere. It's like she's using her fame not just to shine in the spotlight, but also to shine a light on important causes. Lonnie Anderson is not just a talented actress, but also a compassionate soul making waves in the world of philanthropy. It's a side of her that adds an extra layer of awe and admiration to the person we see on our screens. And who knows, maybe she's inspiring others to take up the mantle of doing good in their own way. Lonnie is not just entertaining us, but also for making the world a better place, one award and one act of kindness at a time. She was honored in a special way. In 1986, Lonnie Anderson, the actress we all know and love, got the Hollywood treatment. No, not another blockbuster movie. Something even more iconic. She got her very own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, imagine strolling down that legendary sidewalk, surrounded by the glitz and glamour of Tinseltown. As you walk, you spot Lonnie's star shining brightly among the countless others. It's like a glittering constellation in the concrete jungle of Hollywood, and she earned her place there. This prestigious honor showed her outstanding contributions to the entertainment industry. It's not just about being a talented actress, it's about leaving an indelible mark that stands the test of time, and Lonnie did just that. So that star isn't just a piece of sidewalk bling, it's a symbol of a career that's captured our hearts and stood out in the vast landscape of showbiz. It's like a permanent applause for all those unforgettable moments she shared with us on screen. Getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is like etching your name in the history of Hollywood, and Lonnie Anderson did it in style. Her career has spanned for over 7 decades. Imagine the entertainment industry as a glamorous, high-stakes arena where dreams are chased and hearts are broken. Many aspire to enter, but only a few make it through the audition room, and even fewer manage to stay relevant for decades. Lonnie Anderson? Well, she's one of those few who not only entered the scene, but left a remarkable legacy, carving a path that's lasted over 7 decades. To survive and thrive in the entertainment industry is like navigating a roller coaster of highs and lows, and Lonnie's career is the embodiment of this wild ride. It's not just about talent, it's about the tenacity to weather the storms, the patience to endure the slow climbs, and the courage to keep pushing forward when the spotlight seems a distant dream. Think about it, she didn't just burst onto the scene and disappear after a brief moment of fame. Nope. When the going got tough, Lonnie kept on pushing. Whether it was the early days when her career was taking baby steps or the pinnacle of her fame, she demonstrated an unparalleled determination to not just survive but thrive. And here's the beauty of it, she didn't just rest on her laurels once she hit the big time. Instead, she used her newfound fame to develop the skills and character traits necessary to sustain her position in the industry. It's like she turned every challenge into an opportunity for growth, evolving with the industry and staying relevant through the ever-changing tides of showbiz. Lonnie Anderson's career is not just a resume, it's a saga of passion, persistence, and an unwavering commitment to the craft. It's safe to say that she's a living legend. In the summer of 1977, the world was abuzz with the release of The Spy Who Loved Me, a James Bond film that introduced a new kind of femme fatale. Amidst the glitz of the premiere, one woman stole the spotlight, not just as a Bond girl, but as a figure shrouded in allure and mystery. She was Barbara Bach, known for her captivating beauty and enigmatic presence. But behind this dazzling facade, there lay hidden chapters and untold stories that defied the typical Hollywood narrative. On the surface, Bach was the epitome of a 70s screen siren, but her journey to this pinnacle was laced with unexpected twists and turns. From her early days in Queens, New York, to the heights of Hollywood fame, her path was anything but ordinary. Rumors and whispers followed her, painting a picture of a life filled with more intrigue and complexity than any of her on-screen roles. As she stood there, basking in the adulation of fans and photographers, few could have guessed the depth of the secrets she harbored. Her marriage to a rock legend, Ringo Starr, added to her mystique, making her a fixture in both the cinematic and music worlds. But what was the story behind this glamorous union? What truths lay behind the tabloid headlines and the flashing cameras? From Queens to Queen of the Screen. Barbara Bach's story begins far from the glitz of Hollywood in the diverse borough of Queens, New York. Born Barbara Goldbach on August 27, 1947, to a policeman father and a homemaker mother, her early life was a far cry from the glamour she would later embody. Growing up in a modest, middle-class family, Barbara's childhood was typical of the post-war American experience, marked by a mix of simplicity and the burgeoning dreams of a new generation. From an early age, Barbara showed an inclination towards the arts. Her striking features and natural grace made her stand out, even as a young girl. However, it wasn't just her physical beauty that set her apart. She possessed a quiet determination and a sense of ambition that was rare for women of her time. Barbara attended a local Catholic high school, where she first began to explore the possibility of a career in modeling. It was a decision that would set her on a path to stardom, though not without its challenges. After high school, Barbara's journey into the world of modeling began in earnest. She quickly made a name for herself, gracing the pages of catalogs and magazines. Her unique look, a blend of classic Hollywood glamour and a modern, relatable appeal, caught the eye of many in the industry. By the age of 16, she had already appeared in major publications, a remarkable feat for someone with no formal training or connections in the fashion world. Barbara's transition from modeling to acting was almost serendipitous. Her natural poise in front of the camera and her ability to convey emotion without words caught the attention of film producers. In the early 1970s, she made her foray into the world of cinema, a move that would forever change the trajectory of her life. Her early roles were small, yet significant, allowing her to hone her craft and learn the intricacies of acting. It was during this period that Barbara underwent a transformation, not just professionally, but personally. She married Italian businessman Count Augusto Gregorini in 1968, a union that brought her 2 children and a life that straddled both Europe and America. This marriage, though not lasting, was a crucial chapter in her life, providing her with experiences and perspectives that would shape her both as a person and as an actress. As Barbara's career progressed, her roles became more prominent, setting the stage for her breakthrough as a Bond girl. But her journey from the streets of Queens to the heart of Hollywood was more than just a tale of fame and success. It was a story of resilience, of a young woman navigating the complexities of an industry known for its fickleness and challenges. Barbara Bach's rise to fame was a testament to her talent, determination, and the unwavering belief in her own potential, qualities that would define her career and her life in the years to come. Bond girl breakthrough, more than meets the eye. The year 1977 marked a pivotal moment in Barbara Bach's career with her role as Anya Amasova in the James Bond film The Spy Who Loved Me. This role catapulted her into international stardom, but it also showcased her ability to bring depth and strength to a character that could have easily been just another decorative Bond girl. Anya Amasova, also known as Agent XXXX, was not your typical Bond girl. She was a skilled Soviet agent, equal in wit and prowess to James Bond himself. Barbara's portrayal of Anya broke new ground in the Bond franchise. She brought a blend of toughness, intelligence, and sensuality to the role, challenging the traditional perceptions of women in the Bond universe. Her performance was a significant departure from the more decorative roles often assigned to women in previous Bond films, making Anya Amasova a memorable and progressive character for the time. Barbara's preparation for the role was intense. She trained rigorously to perform many of her own stunts, adding authenticity to her character's physicality. Her dedication to the role was evident in the final product, as she seamlessly blended action and allure, creating a Bond girl who was more than just a foil or love interest for the protagonist. The Spy Who Loved Me was a major success, both critically and commercially, and Barbara's performance was a standout. The film's iconic scenes, including the underwater sequences and the memorable car chase, were made all the more captivating by her presence. Her chemistry with Roger Moore, who played James Bond, was palpable, adding a layer of complexity to their on-screen relationship. However, the impact of this role on Barbara's career was double-edged. While it brought her immense fame, it also typecast her in the eyes of many. Finding roles that matched the depth and significance of Anya Amasova proved challenging. The industry's inclination to pigeonhole her into similar roles was a hurdle she had to continually navigate. Despite these challenges, Barbara's role in The Spy Who Loved Me remains a significant part of her legacy. It redefined the Bond girl archetype and paved the way for more nuanced and empowered female characters in the franchise. Barbara Bach's portrayal of Anya Amasova was not just a breakthrough in her career, it was a breakthrough in the portrayal of women in action cinema, a role that resonated with audiences and critics alike and remains a defining moment in her career. Love in the Limelight, the Ringo Starr connection. Barbara Bach's life took a romantic turn when she met Ringo Starr, the legendary drummer of the Beatles, during the filming of the movie Caveman in 1980. This encounter sparked a love story that captured the public's imagination and has endured for decades, becoming one of the entertainment industry's most enduring relationships. Their connection was instant and profound, despite coming from vastly different backgrounds. Ringo, a world-famous musician from Liverpool, and Barbara, a rising Hollywood star with a modeling background, they found common ground in their shared experiences in the limelight and the pressures that came with fame. Their romance blossomed amidst the backdrop of the film's production, a prehistoric comedy that saw them both stepping out of their comfort zones. The public was fascinated by this pairing. Ringo Starr, already a household name as part of the world's most famous band, and Barbara Bach, the glamorous Bond girl, made for a compelling duo. Their relationship was followed closely by the media, which often portrayed them as a quintessential celebrity couple, living a life of luxury and excess. However, the reality of their relationship was far more complex and grounded. Barbara and Ringo's bond was tested and strengthened by their individual and shared struggles. Both had faced the challenges of fame and the personal issues that often accompany a life in the public eye. They supported each other through these trials, including Ringo's well-documented battle with alcoholism. Barbara played a significant role in his recovery, and together they embarked on a journey of sobriety that further solidified their relationship. Their marriage in 1981 was a testament to their deep connection. It was not just a union of two celebrities, but a partnership based on mutual respect, understanding, and love. They navigated the ups and downs of life together, maintaining a strong bond that has lasted for over 4 decades. Barbara's relationship with Ringo Starr added a new dimension to her public persona. She became known not just for her work in film and modeling, but also as part of a celebrity couple that has stood the test of time. Their relationship has been a source of fascination and admiration, a rare Hollywood love story that has endured far beyond the usual lifespan of celebrity romances. The story of Barbara Bach and Ringo Starr is more than just a tale of celebrity romance. It is a narrative of resilience, support, and enduring love, a reminder that even in the unpredictable world of fame, genuine connections and lasting relationships are possible. Their journey together continues to captivate and inspire, a testament to the power of love in the face of the ever-changing tides of fame and fortune. The mystery of the missing screen siren. After her rise to fame and her high-profile marriage, Barbara Bach's presence in the Hollywood scene began to wane, leading many to wonder about the sudden retreat of this once ubiquitous screen siren. Her gradual disappearance from the public eye in the late 1980s and 1990s was a source of curiosity and speculation. Following her success in The Spy Who Loved Me and a string of other films, Barbara's acting career slowed down. This shift was not due to a lack of talent or opportunities, but rather a conscious choice. She began to prioritize her personal life over her career, focusing on her family and her marriage to Ringo Starr. This decision was a stark contrast to the typical Hollywood narrative, where careers often take precedence over personal life. Barbara's retreat from the limelight was also influenced by her desire for a more normal life, away from the constant scrutiny and pressure of fame. She and Ringo sought a quieter existence, one that allowed them to focus on their relationship and personal growth. This period saw Barbara stepping away from acting and public appearances, choosing instead to live a life away from the cameras. The lack of public information and her absence from the entertainment industry fueled rumors and speculation. Some speculated about possible career troubles or personal issues, while others wondered if she had left the industry for good. However, the truth was far less sensational. Barbara was simply taking a step back to focus on what mattered most to her, her family and personal well-being. During this time, Barbara also explored other interests and passions. She became involved in various charitable endeavors, particularly those related to addiction recovery and mental health, drawing on her and Ringo's experiences. This work, though less publicized, was a significant part of her life during this period. The mystery of Barbara Bach's retreat from Hollywood is not a tale of downfall or disappearance, but a story of choice and prioritization. It reflects a decision to value personal fulfillment over public acclaim, a choice that is both rare and commendable in the celebrity world. Barbara's life during this period may have been less visible to the public, but it was no less meaningful or impactful, marked by personal growth, family, and a commitment to causes close to her heart. Rumors and realities. The untold stories. Barbara Bach's withdrawal from the public eye led to a proliferation of rumors and conjecture about her life and career. In the absence of concrete information, the media and public often filled the gaps with speculation, some of which strayed far from the truth. One persistent rumor was that Barbara's marriage to Ringo Starr was in trouble, a speculation fueled by the couple's retreat from the public eye. However, contrary to these rumors, their relationship remained strong and supportive. Their decision to step back from the limelight was a mutual one, aimed at focusing on their personal lives and health, particularly in the wake of Ringo's struggles with addiction. Another area of speculation centered around Barbara's career. Some suggested that she had been unable to find work after her stint as a Bond girl, a claim that overlooks the reality of her deliberate choice to reduce her acting commitments. Barbara had opportunities to continue her career in film, but chose to prioritize other aspects of her life. There were also rumors about Barbara's health, with some speculating that she had stepped away from the public eye due to illness. These rumors were unfounded and did not reflect the reality of her situation. Barbara was, in fact, focusing on her well-being in a broader sense, including her mental and emotional health, which was a far cry from the health scares rumored in the press. The speculation about Barbara's life during this period highlights the challenges faced by public figures when they choose to live a more private life. The lack of information can lead to a narrative controlled by rumor and speculation rather than facts. For Barbara, this meant dealing with untrue stories and misconceptions about her life and choices. However, despite these challenges, Barbara remained steadfast in her decision to live life on her terms. She and Ringo maintained a strong, supportive relationship, far from the troubled marriage depicted in the tabloids. Her career choices were made with a clear understanding of her priorities and values, not out of necessity or lack of opportunity. She navigated the complexities of fame and public perception with grace, making choices that were right for her, regardless of public opinion or speculation. Her story during these years is one of resilience and self-determination, a narrative that goes beyond the rumors and reveals the reality of a life lived with intention and purpose. A Quiet Crusade, Bach's unseen advocacy. While Barbara Bach's retreat from the Hollywood spotlight led to various speculations, it also marked a period where she dedicated herself to quieter yet impactful advocacy work. Away from the glare of the cameras, Barbara engaged in philanthropic efforts, particularly focusing on issues close to her heart, such as addiction recovery and mental health. Barbara's personal experiences, especially witnessing Ringo Starr's battle with alcoholism and their joint journey towards sobriety, deeply influenced her advocacy work. She understood the challenges and stigmas associated with addiction and mental health issues, which fueled her commitment to helping others facing similar struggles. One of the key areas of her advocacy was supporting organizations and initiatives that provided help and resources for those battling addiction. She often worked behind the scenes, lending her support in ways that didn't seek public acknowledgement or fame. This approach was reflective of her desire to make a genuine difference rather than garner publicity. Barbara also became involved in mental health initiatives, recognizing the interconnection between mental well-being and addiction recovery. Her work in this field was marked by a compassionate understanding of the complexities of mental health issues, and she advocated for greater awareness and support for those affected. Her philanthropic efforts extended beyond addiction and mental health. Barbara supported various charitable causes, contributing her time and resources to make a positive impact. This aspect of her life, though less known to the public, was a significant part of her identity during this period. Barbara Bach's advocacy work is a crucial part of her story, showcasing a different side of the former actress and model. It reveals her depth, compassion, and commitment to making a difference in the lives of others. Her quiet crusade in the realms of addiction recovery and mental health, along with her broader philanthropic efforts, highlight her as a figure of substance and empathy, qualities that often remained overshadowed by her celebrity status. The Legacy of a Bond Girl, revisiting Barbara Bach. Barbara Bach's legacy in the entertainment industry is inextricably linked to her iconic role as Anya Amasova in The Spy Who Loved Me. While her career encompassed more than this single role, it is this portrayal that has left an indelible mark on Hollywood and the James Bond franchise. Anya Amasova, or Agent XXX, was a groundbreaking character for the Bond series. Barbara's portrayal brought a new dimension to the typical Bond girl. She was not just a love interest or a damsel in distress, but a competent, strong, and independent agent in her own right. This role challenged the traditional narrative and paved the way for more complex and empowered female characters in future Bond films. Barbara's performance as Anya Amasova was both celebrated and critiqued at the time. While some praised her for bringing depth and strength to the character, others were critical of the Bond girl archetype itself, viewing it as a symbol of the objectification of women in cinema. However, Barbara's portrayal stood out for its balance of intelligence, physical prowess, and sensuality, making Anya a memorable and respected character in the Bond universe. Over the years, the perception of Barbara's role in The Spy Who Loved Me has evolved. Today, it is often viewed as a progressive step for its time, with Barbara Bach being credited for infusing the character with a sense of agency and competence, rarely seen in previous Bond girls. Beyond her role in the Bond film, Barbara's legacy in Hollywood includes her other film roles and her modeling career. She was part of a generation of actresses who navigated the changing landscape of Hollywood in the 1970s and 1980s, a time when the industry was grappling with evolving narratives around women and their portrayal on screen. In retrospect, Barbara Bach's impact on the film industry extends beyond her on-screen appearances. Her decision to step away from the limelight and focus on her personal life and advocacy work speaks to a broader narrative about the choices and challenges faced by women in Hollywood. It highlights the often difficult balance between professional success and personal fulfillment. Where is Barbara now? Unveiling the present. The question of where is Barbara Bach now resonates with those who remember her as the glamorous Bond girl and the actress who graced the silver screen with her presence. In recent years, Barbara has maintained a low profile, leading many to wonder about her current life and activities. Today, Barbara Bach is far from the Hollywood spotlight, living a life that prioritizes personal fulfillment over public visibility. She continues to share her life with Ringo Starr, with their marriage being one of the longest-lasting unions in the entertainment industry. Their relationship, which began amidst the glitz of Hollywood, has evolved into a deep and enduring partnership. Barbara's current life is characterized by a focus on family, personal well-being, and continued involvement in philanthropic causes. She remains dedicated to her advocacy work, particularly in the areas of addiction, recovery, and mental health, drawing on her and Ringo's personal experiences to contribute positively to these causes. While she has stepped away from acting, Barbara's influence and legacy in the film industry remain significant. Her portrayal of Anya Amasova in The Spy Who Loved Me continues to be celebrated as a pivotal moment in the evolution of female characters in the James Bond series and in Hollywood at large. Barbara's decision to lead a more private life has not diminished the public's fascination with her. She occasionally makes appearances at events, often related to her philanthropic work or supporting Ringo in his musical endeavors. These rare public appearances are a reminder of her enduring presence and the interest she still commands. In many ways, Barbara Bach's current life is a testament to her ability to navigate the complexities of fame and personal choice. She has successfully balanced her public persona with a private life that is rich in personal relationships and meaningful work. Her journey from a celebrated actress to a dedicated advocate and private individual offers a unique narrative about the choices and paths available to those in the public eye. In the puzzling world of the 1960s cinema, amidst psychedelic hues and cultural revolutions, emerged a face that would both captivate and mystify the world. Ewa Aulin. A Swedish siren whose journey from a small town to the dizzying heights of Hollywood reads like a script from the very films she starred in. It was 1968, the year that reshaped Hollywood, when Ewa Aulin, barely 18, stepped into a role that would etch her name in the annals of film history. Candy, a film that flirted with controversy and seduced the era's rebellious spirit, became the vortex that pulled Aulin into a whirlwind of fame. But behind the camera's adoring gaze and the bright lights of stardom lay a path less seen, filled with twists and turns that led to her sudden, almost ghost-like disappearance from the silver screen. As the world moved on, the enigma of Ewa Aulin remained. Was she a comet that burned too bright too fast? Or was there more to the story of the girl who became an icon overnight and then, just as quickly, vanished? This is a journey back in time, a search for the untold story of Ewa Aulin, the star of Candy, whose life off-screen remained shrouded in mystery. What secrets lie behind her enigmatic smile? What truths wait to be uncovered? Join us as we delve into the unseen side of a star who left more questions than answers in her wake. Unraveling Ewa Aulin. In the late 1960s, a young Swedish actress named Ewa Aulin captured the imagination of the film world. Born in 1950 in Landskrona, Sweden, Ewa's journey to stardom was as rapid as it was remarkable. With her ethereal beauty and captivating screen presence, she quickly became a symbol of the era's cinematic revolution. Ewa's early life in Sweden was far removed from the glamour of Hollywood. Growing up in a small town, she was discovered in her teens and soon found herself thrust into the limelight. Her natural talent and striking looks caught the attention of filmmakers, and it wasn't long before she was on her way to becoming an international sensation. Her rise to fame was meteoric. At just 17, Ewa won the title of Miss Teen Sweden, catapulting her into the public eye. This victory opened doors to the world of cinema, leading her to roles that would define her career. Ewa's allure wasn't just in her physical appearance, it was her ability to convey depth and emotion on screen that set her apart. However, the path to fame is often fraught with challenges. For Ewa, the sudden exposure and the pressures of the industry were overwhelming. The transition from a small-town girl to a sought-after actress in international cinema was a journey filled with excitement, but also with unforeseen difficulties. Ewa Aulin's story is not just one of fame and film. It's a tale of a young woman navigating the complexities of a rapidly changing industry. Her early roles, while not as widely known as her later work, showcased her range and potential. They were the first steps in a career that would see her become an icon of her time. As we unravel the story of Ewa Owlin, we delve into the making of a star. Her ascent in the film industry, marked by both dazzling highs and challenging lows, paints a picture of an era and a talent that left an indelible mark on cinema. Ewa's story is a testament to the allure and the trials of the film world, a world that she both enchanted and was ultimately disillusioned by. The Candy controversy. The year 1968 marked a pivotal moment in Ewa Owlin's career with the release of Candy, a film that would become synonymous with her name. Candy, based on the novel by Terry Southern and Mason Hoffenberg, was a satirical take on Voltaire's Candide, reimagined in a psychedelic, sexually charged landscape of the 1960s. Owlin, cast in the titular role, found herself at the center of a cinematic storm that would define her career. The film, directed by Christian Marquand, featured an ensemble cast of renowned actors, including Marlon Brando, Richard Burton, and Ringo Starr. Yet it was Ewa, a relatively unknown Swedish actress, who stole the spotlight. Her portrayal of the naive and beautiful Candy Christian was both lauded and criticized. For some, she embodied the free spirit of the era. For others, her character was a contentious symbol of the sexual revolution. Candy was controversial from the start. Its overt sexual themes and irreverent humor pushed the boundaries of mainstream cinema. The film was a bold exploration of sexuality, power, and the absurdity of societal norms. It was this audacity that made Candy a cult classic, but it also sparked debates and backlash. Critics were polarized, with some praising its daring approach, while others condemned it for its perceived vulgarity. For Ewa Owlin, Candy was both a blessing and a curse. The film catapulted her to international fame, making her a household name overnight. However, the controversy surrounding the film also typecast her, limiting her opportunities to showcase her range as an actress. The role of Candy Christian became a double-edged sword, offering fame but at the cost of artistic freedom. The impact of Candy on Ewa's career was profound. It opened doors to new projects and collaborations, but it also overshadowed her other work. The film's legacy, tied closely to Ewa's own, is a complex one. It stands as a testament to a bold and experimental era in cinema, but also as a reminder of the challenges faced by young actresses thrust into the spotlight. Ewa Owlin's experience with Candy reflects the broader dynamics of the film industry in the 1960s. It was a time of great change and experimentation, but also of controversy and debate. Candy remains a significant, if contentious, part of Ewa's legacy. A film that encapsulates the paradoxes of fame and artistic expression in an era that redefined cinema. Stardom's hidden shadows. Ewa Owlin's ascent to stardom, while rapid and dazzling, was not without its challenges. The glare of the spotlight often hides the less glamorous realities faced by those in the entertainment industry, and Ewa's experience was no exception. Her journey through the world of cinema during the late 1960s and early 1970s revealed the complexities and pressures that come with sudden fame, especially for a young actress. After Candy, Ewa found herself navigating a film industry that was both enamored by her charm and indifferent to her aspirations as an artist. The industry, particularly at that time, was known for its harsh realities, often overshadowed by the glitz of celebrity culture. Young actors, especially women, faced immense pressure to conform to certain roles and expectations. Ewa, with her ethereal beauty and European allure, was often typecast, limiting her ability to explore diverse and challenging roles. The psychological toll of this typecasting and the relentless pace of the industry began to weigh on Ewa. The transition from a teenager in Sweden to an international film star was a whirlwind that left little room for personal growth or reflection. The constant scrutiny, the need to maintain a public persona, and the lack of privacy were aspects of fame that Ewa, like many in her position, found difficult to navigate. Moreover, the film industry of that era was not known for its support of mental health or its sensitivity to the personal struggles of its stars. The focus was often on capitalizing on an actor's current fame with little regard for their long-term well-being. This environment could be particularly challenging for someone as young and inexperienced as Ewa was at the time. Ewa's story is reflective of the broader experience of many young actors thrust into the limelight. The hidden shadows of stardom, the loneliness, the typecasting, the pressure to maintain a certain image are often overlooked in the narratives of glamour and success. Ewa Aulin's journey through the highs and lows of fame provides a poignant insight into the often unseen challenges faced by those in the world of cinema. Her experiences during this period highlight the need for a more supportive and understanding industry, one that recognizes the human element behind the screen. Ewa's career, marked by both remarkable achievements and personal struggles, serves as a reminder of the complex reality that lies beneath the surface of stardom. Beyond the spotlight, Ewa Aulin's career, while marked by significant cinematic achievements, also tells a story of a young woman seeking her identity beyond the confines of the silver screen. As the 1970s progressed, Ewa began to explore life beyond her established persona as a film star. This chapter of her life is less documented, yet it is crucial in understanding the person behind the celebrity. After the whirlwind of Candy and subsequent roles, Ewa started to question her place in the film industry. The constant public scrutiny and the pressures of fame led her to yearn for a more grounded existence. She began to seek a life that allowed her personal growth and exploration, away from the expectations of Hollywood. This period in Ewa's life was marked by a deliberate step back from the limelight. She turned down roles that did not align with her evolving interests and started to pursue a life that was not defined solely by her acting career. This decision was bold, especially considering the momentum she had gained in the industry. However, it reflected her desire for authenticity and her need to carve out a space for herself beyond her public image. Ewa Aulin's move away from the constant glare of the film industry was not just a retreat, it was an exploration of a different kind of fulfillment. It was about redefining success on her own terms and finding contentment beyond the accolades and applause. Her life beyond the spotlight is a powerful narrative of personal resilience and the search for authenticity in a world that often values appearance over substance. Ewa's enigmatic exit. Her departure from the film industry was as enigmatic as her rise to fame. In the mid-1970s, at a time when many expected her career to continue its upward trajectory, Ewa made the unexpected decision to step away from acting. This move sparked curiosity and speculation among her fans and the media, as it seemed to contradict the typical aspirations of a rising star. The reasons behind Ewa's decision to leave the film industry were multifaceted and personal. One factor was her desire to pursue education. Ewa had always valued learning and personal development, and stepping away from acting provided her with the opportunity to focus on her studies. She enrolled in university, a choice that was at odds with the expectations of a Hollywood starlet, but aligned with her personal aspirations. Another aspect that influenced Ewa's decision was her disillusionment with the film industry. The reality of working in cinema, with its relentless focus on image and marketability, clashed with her personal values and aspirations for artistic expression. Ewa sought roles that challenged her as an actress, but such opportunities were scarce, leading to a sense of frustration and a reevaluation of her career path. Rumors and speculation about Ewa's sudden exit abounded. Some suggested that she was overwhelmed by the pressures of fame, while others speculated about possible personal reasons behind her decision. The truth, as is often the case with public figures, was likely a complex combination of personal and professional factors. Ewa's exit from acting was a bold move that left many unanswered questions. It was a decision that reflected her desire for autonomy and her willingness to forge a path that diverged from the expectations of the entertainment industry. Her departure from the film world marked the end of a significant chapter in her life, but also the beginning of a new journey of self-discovery and fulfillment. Ewa Owlin's enigmatic exit from the film industry remains a fascinating aspect of her story. It speaks to the challenges faced by young actors in navigating fame and highlights the courage it takes to make unconventional choices in pursuit of personal authenticity. Her departure from acting is a reminder of the often unseen struggles of those in the limelight and the complex realities behind the facade of celebrity. Lesser-known roles. Ewa Owlin's filmography, while often overshadowed by her role in Candy, includes a variety of lesser-known works that showcase her range and depth as an actress. These roles, though not as widely recognized, offer a glimpse into her versatility and her willingness to explore diverse characters and themes. One such film is Death Laid an Egg, a unique blend of giallo and science fiction genres. In this avant-garde Italian thriller, Ewa played Gabrielle, a character entangled in a complex plot involving love, murder, and genetic engineering. Her performance in this unconventional film demonstrated her ability to adapt to challenging and unconventional roles, far removed from the innocence of Candy Christian. Another notable but less discussed role of Ewa's was in The Double Bed, a dramatic exploration of marital strife and infidelity. In this film, Ewa portrayed a young woman caught in a tumultuous relationship, showcasing her capacity to convey deep emotional turmoil and vulnerability. Her performance was a departure from her more whimsical roles, revealing a more serious and introspective side of her acting abilities. Ewa also appeared in Microscopic Liquid Subway to Oblivion, a film that delved into the dark and surreal aspects of drug addiction. Her role in this film was a stark contrast to her previous characters, as it required a portrayal of the gritty and harrowing realities of substance abuse. This role was a testament to her willingness to tackle difficult and controversial subjects, further highlighting her range as an actress. In addition to these films, Ewa took on roles in various European productions, each presenting different challenges and opportunities for artistic expression. These roles, though not as celebrated as her work in Candy, were crucial in shaping her career and artistic journey. They allowed her to experiment with different genres and character types, broadening her experience and skills as an actress. Ewa's lesser-known roles are essential in understanding her as an actress and an artist. They demonstrate her desire to push boundaries and explore the complexities of human experience through her craft. These roles also reflect the diverse opportunities and challenges she faced in the film industry, shaping her path as an actress. While these roles did not garner the same level of fame as Candy, they are integral to Ewa Owlin's legacy. They showcase a side of her talent that is often overlooked, but is equally deserving of recognition and appreciation. Her performances in these lesser-known films are a testament to her versatility and commitment to her craft, offering a more nuanced view of her abilities and contributions to cinema. The truth behind Ewa Owlin rumors. Ewa Owlin's rise to fame was accompanied by a swirl of rumors and speculations, some of which have persisted over the years. This chapter aims to shed light on these rumors, separating fact from fiction and providing a clearer picture of Ewa's life and career. One of the most persistent rumors about Ewa Owlin was that her departure from the film industry was due to a nervous breakdown. This speculation was fueled by her sudden disappearance from the public eye and the demanding nature of her early career. However, this rumor lacks substantial evidence. Wa's decision to leave acting was more about seeking personal fulfillment and education rather than a result of mental health issues. Her choice was a conscious and deliberate move towards a different path in life, driven by her own desires and aspirations. Another rumor that circulated was regarding Ewa's relationships with high-profile figures in the entertainment industry. Tabloids often linked her romantically with various co-stars and directors. While it's common for actors to be subject to such gossip, in Ewa's case, these stories were more fiction than reality. Ewa maintained a level of professionalism in her work that kept her personal and professional lives separate. Most of these rumored relationships were either exaggerated or entirely fabricated by the media. There were also rumors about Ewa being difficult to work with on set. These stories portrayed her as temperamental and demanding. However, colleagues and directors who worked with Ewa often spoke of her as a dedicated and hard-working actress. The narrative of her being a difficult star seems to be a classic case of misunderstanding and misrepresentation, a not uncommon occurrence in the film industry, especially for young actresses. Ewa's life post-Hollywood also became a subject of speculation. Rumors ranged from her living a reclusive life to her completely abandoning her past as an actress. The truth is more mundane and relatable. Ewa chose a life of normalcy, focusing on her education and family. She did not shun her past, but instead chose to not let it define her entire existence. A legacy revisited. Ewa Owlin's legacy in the film industry, though brief, left an indelible mark on the cinematic landscape of the 1960s and 70s. Her departure from acting did not diminish the impact she had made, particularly with her role in Candy. Over the years, her work, especially in this iconic film, has been revisited and re-evaluated, gaining her a new generation of admirers. Candy, once mired in controversy, has come to be appreciated for its daring approach and its commentary on the cultural and sexual revolutions of the era. Ewa's portrayal of Candy Christian, initially met with mixed reviews, is now often viewed in a different light. Critics and fans alike have come to recognize the complexity of her performance, which captured the innocence and satire inherent in the character. Beyond Candy, Ewa's other film roles, though less known, have also received attention. Films like Death Laid an Egg and The Double Bed showcase her versatility as an actress and her willingness to explore unconventional roles. These films, along with her brief but memorable career, contribute to a legacy that is both unique and intriguing. Ewa's decision to leave the film industry, once seen as abrupt and puzzling, is now often viewed as a bold and personal choice. In an era where celebrity culture often dictates one's path, Ewa's choice to prioritize her own well-being and interest is seen as a sign of strength and self-awareness. The legacy of Ewa Owlin is not just in the roles she played, but also in the narrative of her career. Her journey from a celebrated actress to a private individual pursuing education and personal growth is a story that resonates with many. It speaks to the universal themes of self-discovery, the search for authenticity, and the courage to follow one's own path. As time passes, Ewa Owlin's contribution to cinema continues to be appreciated by film enthusiasts and scholars. Her work remains a testament to a time of experimentation and change in the film industry, and her story is a reminder of the human aspect behind the glamour of the silver screen. Ewa's legacy, both on and off the screen, continues to inspire and captivate audiences, making her a lasting figure in the history of film. Ewa today, the untold story. After leaving the film industry, Ewa chose a life away from the limelight, focusing on personal pursuits and a quieter existence. This shift has led to much curiosity about her current life and activities. Ewa's decision to step back from public life was a deliberate one, reflecting her desire for normalcy and privacy. Unlike many former celebrities who maintain a public presence, Ewa has largely stayed out of the media and public discourse. This choice has naturally led to speculation and interest in her current whereabouts and activities. Despite her withdrawal from public life, Ewa occasionally resurfaces in media reports or interviews, providing glimpses into her life after fame. These rare appearances have revealed that she pursued education and focused on family life, embracing roles far removed from her former celebrity status. The lack of extensive public information about Ewa's current life has led to a sense of mystery surrounding her. Fans and film historians often express curiosity about her post-Hollywood journey, wondering how she has navigated life after fame. This curiosity is a testament to the lasting impact of her brief but memorable career in the film industry. Ewa Aulin's story today is a narrative of choice and the pursuit of a life defined by personal values rather than public expectations. Her decision to live away from the public eye is a powerful statement about the value of privacy and the right to redefine one's life on one's own terms.
What happens when a Hollywood bombshell defies the odds and takes on the studio system? Ann Sheridan's journey in The Dough Girls is more than just a film role. It's a saga of grit, glamour, and groundbreaking success. From backstage conflicts to box office triumphs, uncover how Sheridan's tenacity and talent redefined her career and left an indelible mark on Hollywood. The rise of Hollywood's oomph girl. Born Clara Lou Sheridan on February 21, 1915 in Denton, Texas, Ann Sheridan quickly became one of Hollywood's most recognized faces. Her career began after winning a beauty contest at Paramount Pictures, leading to her first film appearance in Search for Beauty, 1934. Although initial roles were minor, her undeniable talent and striking look soon earned her more significant parts. By 1939, Warner Brothers recognized her potential and signed her to a contract. The studio's decision was a pivotal moment, transforming her into a star. In Angels with Dirty Faces, 1938, Sheridan's portrayal of Laurie Ferguson showcased her acting range and garnered critical acclaim. Her performance alongside James Cagney and Humphrey Bogart marked her as a formidable talent in Hollywood. Following this success, she became known as the Oomph Girl, a nickname she famously disliked. Despite her objections, the moniker stuck, and she embraced it professionally. In an interview with Photoplay magazine in 1939, she remarked, "I'm sorry now I ever had my hair bobbed. I'm sorry I ever posed for that silly picture. I'm sorry about all of this oomph business." Her career continued to soar with hits like They Drive By Night, 1940, and King's Row, 1942. In King's Row, Sheridan's role as Randy Monahan solidified her reputation. The film's success and her performance led to more leading roles. By the early 1940s, Sheridan was one of Warner Brothers' top stars. Her popularity wasn't just limited to the silver screen. During World War II, she was a prominent figure in the war effort, participating in USO tours and promoting war bonds. In a 1943 interview with the Los Angeles Times, Sheridan said, "If I can do something to help, no matter how small, I'll do it." The Dough Girls script acquisition. In the early 1940s, Warner Brothers was looking for a fresh and engaging comedy to lift the spirits of wartime America. The search led them to a popular Broadway play titled The Dough Girls, written by Joseph Fields. The play, which debuted in 1942, was a hit on the stage, known for its sharp wit and humorous take on the chaotic housing situation in Washington, D.C. during World War II. The success on Broadway convinced Warner Bros. Executives that it had great potential as a film. Warner Brothers purchased the film rights to The Dough Girls in 1943. The studio believed that the play's humorous and topical content would translate well to the screen. They began assembling a strong cast to ensure the film's success. Ann Sheridan was quickly identified as the perfect fit for the lead role of Edna Stokes, a sharp-witted and resilient woman caught up in the comedic chaos of wartime housing. Jack L. Warner, the head of Warner Brothers, personally approached her for the role. He believed her star power and comedic timing were crucial for the film's success. In a memo dated February 12, 1944, Warner wrote, "Sheridan has the charm and the comedic edge that this film needs. She is our top choice for Edna Stokes." Sheridan, who had just completed a successful run in Shine On Harvest Moon, 1944, was excited about the project. She saw it as an opportunity to showcase her comedic skills and take on a role that was both challenging and entertaining. In a letter to her agent, dated March 1, 1944, she expressed her enthusiasm. "The Dough Girls is exactly the kind of film I want to be part of. It's funny, it's smart, and it's exactly what people need right now." The casting process for the film was meticulous. Alongside Sheridan, Warner Brothers brought in seasoned actors like Alexis Smith, Jane Wyman, and Jack Carson to round out the ensemble. Each actor brought their unique flair to the project, promising a dynamic and engaging film. By mid-1944, the script adaptation was complete, and pre-production began in earnest. Warner Brothers ensured that the transition from stage to screen retained the play's original charm and humor. The studio also made sure that the film's production design and costumes reflected the period accurately, immersing audiences in the wartime setting. With the script finalized and the cast assembled, The Doughgirls was ready to move into the production phase. The stage was set for a film that would not only entertain, but also bring a much-needed lightheartedness to a country in the midst of war. Pre-production buzz. As Warner Brothers geared up for the production of The Doughgirls, excitement within the studio and the industry grew. The combination of a successful Broadway play, a stellar cast, and a promising script generated significant buzz. Ann Sheridan, in particular, was at the center of this anticipation, as her involvement was seen as a major draw for audiences. Pre-production activities kicked off in the summer of 1944. Warner Brothers put together a dedicated team of professionals to ensure the film's success. Delmer Daves, a talented director known for his work on Destination Tokyo, 1943, was brought on board to helm the project. Daves was enthusiastic about working with Sheridan and believed in her ability to bring the character of Edna Stokes to life. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter in August 1944, Daves said, "Ann Sheridan has a unique ability to blend humor and heart in her performances. She's perfect for this role, and I'm excited to see her bring Edna to the screen." During this period, Sheridan prepared diligently for her role. Known for her commitment to her craft, she spent considerable time studying the play's source material and working with the film's writers to ensure a seamless transition from stage to screen. She attended numerous rehearsals and script readings, where she collaborated closely with her co-stars to develop the on-screen chemistry essential for a successful comedy. Her dedication was evident in a letter she wrote to Delmer Daves on September 5, 1944. "I've been going over the script and really digging into Edna's character. I want to make sure she's not just funny but also relatable and real. I'm looking forward to our first read-through with the whole cast." The film's production design and costumes were also meticulously planned. Ori Kelly, the renowned costume designer, was tasked with creating the wardrobe for The Doughgirls. His designs aimed to capture the essence of the 1940s while highlighting the personalities of each character. In a meeting with studio executives, Ori Kelly emphasized the importance of authenticity. The costumes need to reflect the era and the characters' personalities. Ann's outfits, in particular, will play a key role in defining Edna's character. Warner Brothers spared no expense in ensuring that the set designs were both authentic and visually appealing. The film's set, designed to replicate the chaotic and overcrowded housing conditions in Washington, D.C. during the war, was constructed with meticulous attention to detail. As pre-production progressed, industry insiders and the media began to take notice. Articles and previews in trade publications like Variety and The Hollywood Reporter generated further excitement. An article in Variety on September 20, 1944, highlighted the film's potential. With a top-tier cast led by Ann Sheridan and a script based on a hit Broadway play, The Doughgirls is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated comedies of the year. By the end of September 1944, everything was in place for the film to move into the production phase. The cast and crew were ready, the sets were built, and the excitement was palpable. All eyes were now on The Doughgirls, as Warner Brothers prepared to bring this promising comedy to life. Filming begins. In October 1944, the production of The Doughgirls officially commenced. Warner Brothers transformed sound stages into bustling makeshift apartments to replicate the chaotic housing situation in Washington, D.C. during World War II. These sets provided the perfect backdrop for the film's comedic escapades. Director Delmer Daves set a fast-paced yet collaborative tone from the start. Ann Sheridan, who was already known for her professionalism, quickly adapted to Daves's directing style. Her first scenes showcased her character, Edna Stokes, navigating the humorous turmoil of overcrowded living conditions. The cast's chemistry was immediately apparent, setting the stage for a cohesive and dynamic film. Jack Carson, playing the role of Arthur Halstead, shared in an interview with the Los Angeles Times, "Working with Ann was a joy. She had this incredible ability to make everyone feel comfortable and brought a natural humor to her role that was infectious." The atmosphere on set was a blend of rigorous work and lighthearted moments. Sheridan was known for her practical jokes, which kept the mood upbeat despite the demanding schedule. During one particularly grueling day of shooting, she filled co-star Jane Wyman's prop handbag with confetti. Wyman later recalled, "I opened my bag during a take and out poured confetti. The entire set erupted in laughter. Anne had a way of keeping things fun, even when the work was tough. The film's complex scenes, involving multiple characters and physical comedy, required precise coordination. Delmer Daves and the assistant directors worked closely with the actors to perfect these scenes. One notable sequence involved a slapstick series of events with characters entering and exiting rooms in rapid succession. Sheridan's timing was impeccable, earning praise from the crew. Additionally, the studio's strict budget constraints meant that the team had to be resourceful. Her resourcefulness shone through when she suggested using simpler set pieces to expedite scene changes, a move that saved both time and money. Another memorable incident occurred during the filming of a pivotal scene where Edna Stokes delivers a monologue about the absurdities of wartime housing. As Sheridan delivered her lines, a piece of the set collapsed unexpectedly. Unfazed, she ad-libbed a line about the state of the building, drawing laughter from the cast and crew. This take was so well received that it was included in the final cut of the film. As filming progressed, the cast and crew developed a camaraderie that translated well on screen. Alexis Smith and Jane Wyman, playing Maureen and Nan respectively, often praised Sheridan for her leadership and support. In a 1945 interview with Modern Screen, Smith stated, "Anne was the glue that held us all together. Her talent and her spirit lifted everyone's performance." By December 1944, principal photography was nearing completion. The scenes had been shot with a mixture of precision and spontaneity, capturing the essence of the original play while bringing a fresh cinematic flair. The dedication and hard work of the entire team, led by Sheridan's stellar performance, promised a film that would resonate with audiences and critics alike. With the final scenes wrapped up, the Doe Girls moved into the post-production phase. The film's journey from script to screen had been filled with challenges, laughter, and remarkable teamwork. Anne Sheridan's role in this journey was pivotal, her talent and determination ensuring that The Doe Girls would be a standout comedy in Warner Brothers' 1945 lineup. On-set challenges. The Doe Girls production faced numerous challenges that tested the resilience and creativity of the cast and crew. Despite the lighthearted nature of the film, the behind-the-scenes work was anything but easy. Technical difficulties, scheduling conflicts, and external pressures from the studio created a demanding environment. One of the most persistent challenges was dealing with the tight filming schedule. Warner Brothers had allocated a limited time frame to complete the movie, aiming to release it while wartime comedies were still in high demand. This led to long hours on set and a rigorous shooting schedule. Delmer Daves, the director, often pushed the cast to their limits to stay on track. Anne Sheridan's dedication was instrumental in navigating these pressures. She maintained a positive attitude and encouraged her co-stars, which helped keep morale high. In a letter to her friend and fellow actress Bette Davis, Sheridan wrote, "We're working long hours, but the team spirit here is incredible. We're all determined to make this a great film." Technical issues were another significant hurdle. The film required complex set pieces to recreate the chaotic housing scenarios central to the plot. Frequent malfunctions with these sets disrupted filming. One particularly troublesome scene involved a revolving door that repeatedly jammed. This scene was crucial for a comedic sequence, and its delays frustrated the entire crew. Sheridan's patience and improvisational skills proved invaluable during these moments. During one of the breakdowns, she suggested altering the blocking to work around the malfunction. This quick thinking saved valuable time and kept the production moving. Studio interference also posed challenges. Warner Brothers executives closely monitored the production, frequently visiting the set and suggesting changes. These interruptions sometimes clashed with Delmer Daves' vision for the film, causing tension. Anne Sheridan often acted as a mediator, using her status and rapport with the executives to maintain a balance between creative integrity and studio demands. A notable incident occurred when the studio insisted on a scene change that Daves felt would undermine the film's comedic flow. She arranged a meeting with Jack Warner to discuss the issue. She diplomatically presented their case, emphasizing the importance of the scene as originally conceived. Her persuasive argument convinced Warner to allow them to proceed as planned, demonstrating her influence and commitment to the project. Despite the pressures and obstacles, the cast and crew's camaraderie grew stronger. Sheridan's leadership and sense of humor played a significant role in fostering this unity. She frequently organized impromptu gatherings after long shooting days, where everyone could relax and bond. These moments of respite were crucial for maintaining a positive atmosphere on set. Notable scenes. As the Doughgirls production continued, several key scenes stood out, showcasing the comedic talent and chemistry of the cast, particularly Ann Sheridan. These scenes became iconic moments in the film, highlighting the absurdities of wartime housing and her impeccable comedic timing. One of the most memorable scenes involved Sheridan's character, Edna Stokes, attempting to navigate a chaotic apartment filled with multiple tenants. The sequence required precise timing and coordination as characters entered and exited rooms in rapid succession, creating a whirlwind of confusion and comedy. Sheridan's ability to deliver her lines with perfect timing and maintain her composure amid the chaos was crucial to the scene's success. Delmer Daves, the director, had high praise for her performance in this sequence. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, he said, "Anne's timing was flawless. She brought a natural energy to the scene that elevated the entire cast's performance. Watching her work was like seeing a masterclass in comedic acting." Another standout moment was a scene where Edna, in a fit of frustration, delivers a monologue about the absurdities and challenges of living in an overcrowded apartment during the war. This scene allowed Sheridan to showcase her range, blending humor with a touch of pathos. The monologue, penned by screenwriter James V. Kern, was both funny and poignant, capturing the audience's attention. During the filming of this scene, Sheridan's emotional depth and sincerity were evident. Her delivery was so compelling that it moved many crew members to tears. Jane Wyman, who played Nan, later recounted in an interview, "Anne's performance in that monologue was extraordinary. She managed to capture the frustration and resilience of her character in a way that was both hilarious and heart-wrenching." A particularly challenging scene involved a series of physical comedy routines, including a slapstick sequence where Edna tries to fix a broken bed. The scene required Sheridan to perform complex physical stunts, including falling off the bed and getting tangled in the sheets. Her background in physical comedy and her athleticism were on full display, impressing both the cast and crew. One of the film's funniest moments came from an unscripted incident. During a scene where Edna is trying to cook dinner in the cramped apartment kitchen, a prop malfunctioned, causing a pot to explode unexpectedly. Sheridan's quick thinking led her to ad-lib a line about the hazards of wartime cooking, which fit seamlessly into the scene, and left the cast and crew in stitches. Delmer Daves decided to keep the take in the final cut, recognizing the genuine humor it added to the film. Battling behind the scenes. During the production of The Doughgirls, frequent interference from Warner Brothers executives clashed with Delmer Daves' vision and the cast's creative process. The studio insisted on altering key scenes to make them more commercially appealing, which Delmer Daves resisted, aiming to preserve the film's integrity. Ann Sheridan played a crucial role in these negotiations. Her star power and rapport with studio executives allowed her to advocate for the creative team's vision. In a meeting with Jack Warner, she argued against dumbing down the humor, which she believed would undermine the film's quality and insult the audience's intelligence. Jack Warner acknowledged her concerns in a memo, agreeing to a balanced approach. Despite this victory, studio demands continued to create friction, often disrupting filming. Sheridan's leadership and diplomatic skills were instrumental in maintaining morale. She frequently acted as a buffer, negotiating compromises that allowed the film to stay true to its original vision. Her ability to navigate these challenges earned her respect from both the creative team and the studio. One major contention was the film's ending. The studio wanted a more conventional conclusion, while Daves and the writers preferred a nuanced ending. Sheridan suggested a revised ending that satisfied both visions, preserving the film's integrity. Her role in these negotiations was pivotal, ensuring The Doughgirls retained its charm and wit despite external pressures. Publicity and premiere. As The Doughgirls neared completion, Warner Brothers launched an extensive publicity campaign to generate buzz around the film. The studio knew that Ann Sheridan's star power was a major draw, and they centered much of their marketing efforts around her. Publicity stills of Sheridan, often showcasing her in glamorous attire, were released to magazines and newspapers. The tagline, "Ann Sheridan in her funniest role yet," appeared in various promotional materials. Warner Brothers understood that her comedic talents and popular appeal would attract audiences eager for lighthearted entertainment during wartime. Warner Brothers scheduled the film's premiere for December 25, 1944, aiming to capitalize on the holiday season. The premiere was held at the prestigious Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood, a fitting venue for such a high-profile release. The event was a star-studded affair, with many of Hollywood's biggest names in attendance. The positive reception continued as reviews started to pour in. Critics praised the film for its sharp humor, engaging storyline, and strong performances. The New York Times review highlighted her role. Anne Sheridan shines in The Doughgirls, delivering a performance that is both delightful and nuanced. Her portrayal of Edna Stokes is a testament to her versatility and talent. Box office numbers from the opening week further underscored the film's success. The Doughgirls quickly became one of Warner Brothers' top-grossing films of the year. The studio's investment in the film and its extensive publicity campaign paid off handsomely.
Barbi Benton, a name synonymous with glamour, a face that graced magazine covers, and a life wrapped in the sparkle of Hollywood's golden era. Yet behind the sequins and smiles lies a trail of secrets and stories untold, whispers of a life far more intricate than the public ever glimpsed. What hidden depths lie beneath the image of this entertainment world's darling, and how did a girl once known for her beauty become an unsung architect of her own destiny? Hidden chords of fame. Before the flashing cameras and the glitz of stardom, Barbi Benton harbored a passion that struck a chord quite literally: music. While the world fixated on her beauty and her ties to the Playboy empire, few knew that Barbi's first love was the melody and harmony of song. Her musical journey began long before the fame, in the quiet corners of her adolescence, where she honed her skills on the piano and guitar, crafting the foundation of what would become a significant yet overshadowed part of her career. In the early 1970s, Barbi's vocal talents came to light as she serenaded audiences on television, showcasing a sultry voice that was as captivating as her image. With a mind young and wild, and a body that the devil... She released several albums, and while her musical career may not have reached the dizzying heights of her modeling, it was a testament to her multifaceted abilities. Songs like Brass Buckles and Ain't That Just the Way charted internationally, hinting at the depth of talent beneath the surface. But music was more than just a career path for Barbi. It was an escape, a way to express her inner world, and a realm where she held the reins. Behind the studio doors, she was not just a performer, but a creative force, involved in the songwriting and production processes. Her music spoke of love and life, infusing country with pop, and it carried the authenticity of her experiences. Her collaborations with artists like Dolly Parton and Glen Campbell added layers to her musical persona, positioning her within a network of country legends, yet she remained an enigma, her music career a hidden gem overshadowed by her more publicized endeavors. As we delve deeper into the life of Barbi Benton, stay tuned for the next reveal: how a young woman known for her appearances in the pages of Playboy and on arm of its mogul quietly influenced one of the most iconic brands of the 20th century. The Mansion Whisperer, inside Barbi Benton's influence on the Playboy empire. Barbi Benton's name is often whispered in the same breath as the Playboy Mansion, yet few understand the gravity of her influence within its legendary walls. Beyond her public persona as Hugh Hefner's paramour, Benton was a key figure in shaping the cultural and physical landscape of the Playboy empire. It was Barbi who, in the early 1970s, discovered the sprawling estate that would become the Playboy Mansion West. Her keen eye for design and architecture played a crucial role in its transformation into a symbol of luxury and hedonism. But her influence didn't stop at mere aesthetics. She left an indelible mark on the ethos of the brand. With her sophisticated taste and understanding of the era's zeitgeist, she helped guide Hefner's vision, turning Playboy into a bastion of the sexual revolution. Her involvement in the mansion's legendary events is part of the untold tapestry of her life. Benton didn't just attend these extravagant gatherings. She helped orchestrate them, ensuring that each party was more than just a night of revelry, but an event that encapsulated the spirit of an era. From the grotto to the game room, her touches are evident, though seldom credited. Yet, there's a side to this story that remains shrouded in mystery. While the world saw the mansion as a pleasure palace, for Barbie, it was a complex network of relationships and power dynamics. Her time there was a balancing act of personal and public life, one that required a deep understanding of the intricacies of fame, fortune, and influence. Screen Siren Stories: Barbie Benton's Ventures Beyond the Velvet Rope. Barbie Benton's acting career is a patchwork of roles that offer a glimpse into her versatility as a performer. In 1970, she stepped onto the acting stage, not as Hugh Hefner's girlfriend, but as a fresh face on Hee Haw, where her comedic aptitude quickly became apparent. Barbie's ability to light up the room with her humor and charm marked the beginning of her journey as an actress, not just a model. Her transition to the screen included appearances on popular shows like The Love Boat in 1977 and Fantasy Island in 1981, where she showcased her adaptability and dramatic flair. Each character she portrayed was a deliberate step away from her playboy image, a testament to her pursuit of diversity and challenging roles. In Hospital Massacre, 1982, Benton tackled a rare leading role, navigating the horror genre with a performance that highlighted her range beyond the expectations set by her modeling career. Despite her efforts, the roles offered to Barbie often reflected the industry's typecasting, an obstacle she met with resilience, selecting parts that allowed her to explore different facets of her talent. For instance, in the series Sugar Time, 1977-1978, her portrayal of a woman leading an all-female band in a male-dominated industry mirrored her own struggles within Hollywood. Throughout the 1970s and early 1980s, Barbie built a filmography that, while not headlining box office charts, was marked by her commitment to her craft. She didn't merely play roles, she sought to embody the characters with authenticity and passion, often contributing to the creative process behind the scenes. Barbie Benton's career in acting might not have eclipsed her Playboy fame, but it was filled with performances that spoke to her dedication as an actress. As we move forward in our exploration, we'll peel back the curtain on Barbie's personal life, her romances, and the heartaches that played out when the studio lights dimmed. Stay tuned as we delve into the real-life love stories of Barbie Benton, revealing the heart behind the public persona. Love Life Unscripted: The Romances and Heartbreaks Off the Camera. Barbie Benton's love life, while often a subject of public fascination due to her high-profile relationship with Hugh Hefner, encompasses more than the walls of the Playboy Mansion. Her romances have been as multifaceted as her career, marked by moments both tender and turbulent. Her long-standing relationship with Hefner began in 1969, when Benton was only 19 and he was 42. This relationship unfolded in the public eye, with Barbie often regarded as Hefner's most significant partner during the 1970s. However, less is known about her life after their breakup in 1976, a period when Barbie sought to forge her identity separate from the Playboy brand. In the years that followed, Barbie's heart would venture into new territories. She found love with real estate developer George Grado in 1979. Their relationship blossomed away from the cameras, and they married in 1979. This marked a shift for Benton, who had been a fixture in the limelight, as she began to embrace a more private existence, focusing on family and personal fulfillment. Their union was characterized by a strong bond and shared values, with the couple welcoming 2 children. Unlike her time with Hefner, her life with Grado was marked by a desire for normalcy and privacy, a stark contrast to the glitzy image many associated with her. Barbie's romantic life is a narrative of contrasts, from a public figure in a glamorous world to a woman seeking the quietude of a private life. Her journey through love reflects the complexities of a life lived in the spotlight and the pursuit of personal happiness beyond it. A fashion icon's blueprint, Barbie Benton's secret style influence. Barbie Benton's impact on fashion during the 1970s and 1980s was profound, yet her contributions have often been overshadowed by her association with Playboy. Benton wasn't just a model who wore the clothes given to her. She was an arbiter of style, influencing trends and inspiring designers. Her unique fashion sense was a blend of sophistication and sensuality, a hallmark of the era's glamorous aesthetic. During her heyday, Benton's appearances were not just photo ops. They were fashion statements that captured the zeitgeist of the times. Her penchant for bold prints, bell-bottoms, and the iconic bunny costume played a role in setting the fashion agenda. She embraced and often contributed to the design of her own ensembles, bringing an authenticity to her style that resonated with the public. Barbie's influence extended beyond the camera lens. She was a fixture in the front rows of fashion shows and a muse to designers who valued her feedback and vision. In a time when fashion was becoming more expressive and personal, Barbie Benton was at the forefront, pushing boundaries and setting trends. Her legacy in fashion is a narrative interwoven with her public persona, yet it stands on its own as a testament to her innate understanding of style and her ability to forecast trends. As we explore Benton's life further, her fashion legacy is a reminder that she was not just a face in a magazine, but a creator of style that has left a lasting impression. Beyond the glitz, philanthropy, and life after the limelight. After stepping back from the glare of Hollywood's spotlight, Barbie Benton channeled her energy into philanthropy, a chapter of her life that speaks volumes about her character. Behind the glamorous facade that the public was accustomed to lay a compassionate heart and a commitment to giving back. In the quiet of her post-fame life, Benton dedicated herself to numerous charitable causes, often away from the media's eye. She lent her support to organizations focused on children's health and education, recognizing the power of her platform to effect positive change. With her characteristic grace, she attended fundraisers, donated to worthy causes, and volunteered her time, all without fanfare. One of her notable contributions was to the music therapy program at the UCLA Mattel Children's Hospital. Understanding the healing power of music, Barbie helped fund programs that brought comfort and joy to sick children. Her involvement went beyond mere donations. She was hands-on, often seen participating in hospital events and even singing for the children, bringing smiles to their faces during difficult times. Barbie's philanthropic efforts also extended to environmental causes. Passionate about wildlife and conservation, she supported initiatives that protected endangered species and promoted sustainable living. Her home became a reflection of this passion, with an emphasis on eco-friendly design and living practices. The narrative of Barbie Benton's philanthropic work is a sharp contrast to the glittering life she once led. It reveals a depth of character and a desire to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. As we delve deeper into her life story, we uncover a woman whose beauty is matched by her generosity and whose influence extends far beyond what the public has seen. Private melodies, the personal life, Barbie shielded from the world. In the symphony of Barbie Benton's life, there are melodies that remained private. Harmonies that echoed behind closed doors, away from the public's prying eyes. Despite her high-profile relationships and her image as a glamorous starlet, Benton fiercely protected her personal life, cherishing the quiet moments that fame couldn't infiltrate. Barbie's personal life has always been layered and complex, defined by more than her celebrity status. Her romance with real estate developer George Gradeau, whom she married in 1979, was a testament to her desire for a stable and nurturing home life. Their relationship was built on mutual respect and love, a sanctuary from the unpredictability of show business. Together, they raised 2 children, Alexander and Ariana, in a household where privacy was paramount, and the entertainment industry was just a backdrop. The Benton-Gradeau family life was idyllic in many ways, set against the beauty of their homes in Los Angeles and Aspen. Barbie created a world for her family that was rooted in normalcy and shielded from the tabloid culture. She was a hands-on mother, involved in every aspect of her children's upbringing, from school plays to equestrian events, ensuring they had a grounded and well-rounded childhood. Even as her children grew and the demands of motherhood evolved, Barbie maintained her protective stance, keeping her family life discreet and out of the limelight. Her commitment to her family's privacy was unwavering, a reflection of her values and her understanding of the importance of a life beyond the reach of fame. In a world where celebrities' personal lives are often on full display, Barbie Benton chose a different path. She crafted a personal narrative that was hers to hold, a melody of private moments that formed the true soundtrack of her life. Architect of Dreams, exploring Benton's hidden passion for design. Barbie Benton's artistic talents extend beyond the stage and screen, manifesting in a less public yet profoundly impactful realm: architectural and interior design. Benton's penchant for design is not widely known, yet her work in this field showcases the same creativity and attention to detail that she brought to her entertainment career. In the 1970s, Benton began expressing her vision through the design of her own homes. She worked closely with architects and designers, meticulously planning every inch of space, choosing materials, and overseeing construction. Her homes were not mere dwellings, but expressions of her aesthetic, an embodiment of her personal style and sensibility. One of Benton's most ambitious projects was the construction of her house in Aspen, Colorado. It was here that her skills flourished, culminating in a home that was both a retreat and a masterpiece. The residence, which she shared with her husband George Grado, reflected her love for rustic elegance and her affinity for natural materials. It became a harmonious blend of luxury and comfort, nestled in the picturesque landscape of the Rocky Mountains. Benton's approach to design was holistic. She believed that a home should be a sanctuary, a place that reflects the soul of its inhabitants. Her design philosophy centered around creating spaces that were not only visually stunning but also functional and inviting. Each room told a story, with carefully curated pieces, custom furniture, and art that spoke to her eclectic taste. Her design work has been recognized in several publications, highlighting her talent for transforming spaces into works of art. Benton's legacy in design is a testament to her multifaceted abilities and her relentless pursuit of beauty in all its forms. Barbie Benton may be best remembered for her time in front of the camera, but her work as a designer reveals another dimension to her character. As we continue to explore the layers of Benton's life, we witness a woman whose artistic vision knows no bounds and whose passion for design has left a lasting imprint on the world of architecture. The Wellness Advocate, Barbie's Secret Health and Wellness Journey. Barbie Benton's journey through the realms of health and wellness is a facet of her life that remained largely away from the headlines. Yet it is within this sphere that she has perhaps made some of her most impactful contributions. Benton's advocacy for wellness reflects her commitment to a holistic lifestyle, embodying the principles of mind-body harmony long before they became mainstream. Her exploration into wellness began as a personal mission, spurred by the health challenges faced by herself and those close to her. This quest led her to delve into the intricacies of nutrition, alternative medicine, and the healing arts. Benton's passion for wellness was not just about her own well-being. It was about sharing her knowledge and resources to help others lead healthier lives. Benton became a proponent of preventative health, emphasizing the importance of natural foods, regular exercise, and mental health awareness. She practiced what she preached, embodying a lifestyle that balanced physical activity with spiritual well-being. Her home in Aspen became a sanctuary where organic gardening and yoga were part of the daily routine. Her advocacy extended to her public life as well. Benton used her platform to raise awareness about health issues, particularly those affecting women. She supported health charities and campaigns, participated in wellness events, and spoke openly about her health philosophy, inspiring her fans to prioritize their well-being. Behind the scenes, Benton was instrumental in championing causes related to health education and access to natural health resources. She quietly contributed to wellness programs and supported initiatives that aimed to bring holistic health practices to a wider audience. The narrative of Barbi Benton as a wellness advocate is a compelling chapter in her life, showcasing a woman dedicated to nurturing the well-being of herself and others. Her holistic approach and dedication to wellness have been a constant thread throughout her life, influencing those around her and contributing to the wider dialogue on health. Legacy in the shadows: the influences and contributions overlooked by fame. Barbi Benton's legacy is one that resounds with quiet influence and subtle impact, much of which has been overshadowed by the more glamorous aspects of her fame. Her multifaceted career and personal interests have left an indelible mark not only on the entertainment industry but also on the many lives she has touched through her lesser-known endeavors. Throughout her time in the public eye, Benton has been a muse and a trendsetter, but her behind-the-scenes roles as a philanthropist, designer, and wellness advocate speak to a deeper contribution. Her influence extends into the realms of environmental conservation, health education, and the arts, areas where her input and support have often gone unrecognized. Her philanthropic efforts, particularly those directed towards environmental causes and children's health and education, reveal a compassionate spirit committed to making a tangible difference. Benton's advocacy for sustainable living and her hands-on approach to supporting various charities demonstrate her dedication to leaving a positive legacy beyond her celebrity status. Moreover, Benton's contributions to design and architecture show a visionary mind at work, one that has shaped physical spaces with the same creativity she once brought to the stage. Her unique aesthetic and passion for creating environments that nurture the soul have inspired many to view their living spaces as sanctuaries for wellness and expression. As a wellness advocate, Barbi has been ahead of her time, championing holistic health practices and mental well-being before they became part of the cultural lexicon. Her commitment to leading a balanced life and encouraging others to do the same has had a ripple effect, contributing to the growing awareness of the importance of health in all its dimensions. Barbi Benton's legacy is rich and varied, with many of her contributions remaining in the shadows yet profoundly influential. As we wrap up our exploration of her life, we are reminded that fame is but one part of a person's story. The true measure of impact is found in the quiet moments, the generous acts, and the creative endeavors that resonate with people's lives long after the spotlight fades.
She was immortalized as Princess Leia in Star Wars. But Carrie Fisher's real-life journey was a saga of its own. Off-screen, she waged battles not against dark forces, but against the very industry that built her, the iconic Princess Leia. Carrie Fisher landed the role of Princess Leia in 1975. Born into Hollywood royalty as the daughter of Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher, she was no stranger to the entertainment industry. Fisher had studied acting at the Central School of Speech and Drama in London and appeared in the film Shampoo before auditioning for Star Wars. The casting process for Star Wars was extensive. George Lucas, the creator, was looking for fresh faces to play the lead roles. Carrie Fisher, then 19 years old, was one of many young actresses vying for the part. Lucas auditioned her alongside other hopefuls, including Amy Irving and Cindy Williams. Her unique blend of wit, charm, and strength caught Lucas's attention. Fisher's audition tape shows her delivering Leia's lines with a combination of vulnerability and defiance, qualities that would define the character. Lucas saw potential in her ability to portray a princess who was also a fierce leader. After several rounds of auditions, she was chosen to play Princess Leia, a decision that would change her life forever. Star Wars: A New Hope was released in 1977 and became a cultural phenomenon. Fisher's portrayal of Leia brought the character to life in a way that resonated with audiences. She became a symbol of strength and resilience, breaking away from the traditional damsel in distress trope. Despite Leia's royal status, Fisher played her with a down-to-earth toughness that made her relatable. The iconic white dress and cinnamon bun hairstyle were subjects of debate. Fisher found the hairstyle uncomfortable and the dress impractical. In interviews, she often joked about the lack of underwear in space, a mandate from Lucas to avoid visible lines. These details added to her discomfort but also highlighted her sense of humor and willingness to speak out. George came up to me the first day of filming and gave me a roll of gaffer tape and told me it was for my chest, she recalled with her trademark wit. Fisher's own struggles mirrored Leia's resilience. She faced personal battles, including issues with substance abuse and mental health. These struggles were well documented in her autobiographies, Postcards from the Edge and Wishful Drinking. Her honesty about her life added another layer to the character she portrayed. It made Leia's strength and vulnerability more relatable to audiences. On set, she was known for her wit and intelligence. She formed close bonds with her co-stars, particularly Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford. These relationships were crucial in creating the chemistry seen on screen. Fisher's influence extended beyond her acting. She often provided input on scripts and dialogue, ensuring Leia's character remained consistent and impactful. The initial trilogy's success cemented Leia as a beloved character. She reprised the role in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Each film added new dimensions to Leia, showing her growth as a leader and a warrior. Her performance continued to evolve, reflecting her own experiences and insights. Clash of visions. During the production of the original Star Wars trilogy, creative differences often surfaced between Carrie Fisher and the executives. These clashes were not just about the storyline, but also about how Princess Leia should be portrayed. She believed that Leia should be more than just a figurehead. She should be an active participant in the rebellion. One of the first major disputes arose during The Empire Strikes Back. Fisher wanted Leia to be portrayed as a stronger leader. She felt that the character needed to evolve beyond her role in the first film. Her push for a more dynamic Leia was met with resistance from some of the executives. They were concerned about maintaining the balance between action and character development. Being vocal about her opinions, she once remarked, "I wanted Leia to be more than a damsel in distress. She needed to be someone who could stand up and fight, not just be rescued." This sentiment was shared by many fans who saw Leia as a role model. Her advocacy for her character was a reflection of her own strong-willed personality. The disagreements weren't limited to Leia's role in the story. She often found the lines written for Leia to be stilted and unrealistic. Fisher, who was also a writer, would frequently suggest changes to make the dialogue more natural. Her input was not always welcomed, but she persisted. "If I'm going to say these lines, they need to sound like something a real person would say," she argued. These battles were not always successful. There were times when the executive's vision prevailed. However, her persistence in advocating for her character ensured that Leia remained a strong and independent figure throughout the trilogy. Her influence can be seen in the way Leia's character was developed, from a princess in distress to a leader of the rebellion. Her persistence often led to memorable moments. For instance, during the filming of Return of the Jedi, Fisher advocated for a scene where Leia kills Jabba the Hutt. This act of defiance and strength was crucial in showcasing Leia's evolution as a character. The hairdo debate, the infamous cinnamon bun hairstyle of Princess Leia, became an iconic part of her character, but it was a significant point of contention between Carrie Fisher and the Star Wars production team. The hairstyle was designed by makeup artist Pat McDermott, who was inspired by Mexican revolutionary women from the early 20th century. George Lucas wanted a look that would stand out and be easily recognizable, something that hadn't been seen before in science fiction. Carrie Fisher had strong feelings about the hairstyle from the beginning. She found it uncomfortable and impractical for the action scenes she had to perform. In interviews, she often described the experience of wearing the buns as akin to carrying heavy weights on her head. Her discomfort was compounded by the fact that she had to wear the hairstyle for long hours during filming. "I had to wear those damn buns every day for months. They gave me headaches," she once said in an interview with Rolling Stone. Fisher's discontent with her character's appearance wasn't limited to the hairstyle. She also had issues with the costumes, particularly the iconic white dress from A New Hope. The dress, designed by John Mallow, was made of a delicate, flowing fabric that looked great on screen but was less than practical during the physically demanding scenes. She often joked about the impracticality of the dress, noting that it was difficult to move in and offered little protection during stunt work. One of the most notable points of contention came with the infamous Slave Leia costume in Return of the Jedi. The gold bikini designed by Aggie Garrard Rogers became a cultural phenomenon, but was a source of significant discomfort for Fisher. She found the outfit demeaning and objectifying. "I was chained to a giant slug and forced to wear a metal bikini. It wasn't my idea of fun," she said in an interview with Newsweek. Fisher pushed back against the costume, arguing that it reduced Leia to a mere object. Her protests were largely ignored by the production team, but she found ways to reclaim some control. In the scene where Leia kills Jabba the Hutt is viewed as a symbolic act of defiance against the objectification she felt. The hair and costume debates were part of a larger issue she faced regarding the portrayal of Leia. She wanted the character to be seen as a strong, independent leader, not just a figurehead or an object of male desire. These battles over appearance were a reflection of the broader fight for respect and equality in Hollywood. Script revisions and secret changes. Carrie Fisher was not just an actress but also a talented writer. Her skills came in handy during the production of the Star Wars trilogy, where she often found herself rewriting lines and suggesting changes to the script. This input was invaluable in making Princess Leia's dialogue more authentic and engaging. One of the most famous instances of her influence was during the filming of The Empire Strikes Back. The original script for the scene where Han Solo is about to be frozen in carbonite had Leia saying, "I love you," to which Han was supposed to reply, "I love you too." Both Fisher and Harrison Ford felt this was out of character for the roguish Han. After much discussion, Ford ad-libbed, "I know," a line that has since become iconic. Fisher's influence on the script extended beyond dialogue. She had a keen sense of character development and often provided feedback on how Leia's character should evolve. During the filming of Return of the Jedi, Fisher advocated for Leia to have more action scenes and to play a more significant role in the defeat of the Empire. She wanted Leia to be portrayed as a true leader and warrior, not just a love interest or a figurehead. Her input led to scenes like Leia's rescue of Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt, where she famously kills Jabba herself. The executives and some creative team members were often resistant to her suggestions. However, her persistence paid off. She would often work late into the night, rewriting her lines to make them more realistic and compelling. Fisher's dedication to the character and her commitment to authenticity were evident in every revision she made. During the production of the original trilogy, there was a constant fear of leaks. This secrecy extended to script changes and revisions, many of which were made without the knowledge of the entire cast and crew. So she would often work privately with directors and writers, ensuring that her changes were implemented without drawing too much attention. Fisher's contributions to the script were not limited to her own character. She often provided input on the overall story and other characters' dialogue. Her understanding of the Star Wars universe and her ability to see the bigger picture made her a valuable asset to the creative team. Balancing humor with serious moments added depth to the films, making them more engaging and relatable for audiences. The Force Awakens for equality. Carrie Fisher's fight for gender equality in Hollywood was an ongoing struggle that mirrored her battles on the Star Wars set. She was acutely aware of the gender disparities in the film industry, and she used her platform to advocate for stronger roles and fair treatment for women. Her efforts on behalf of Princess Leia were a significant part of this broader fight. From the beginning, Fisher pushed for Leia to be portrayed as a capable leader, not just a supporting character. She fought for equal screen time and substantial dialogue, ensuring that Leia's contributions to the story were as important as those of her male counterparts. This was a bold stance in the late 1970s and early 1980s, a time when female characters were often relegated to secondary roles. She supported her female colleagues and spoke out against the systemic sexism in the industry. Fisher was known for her candid remarks and sharp wit, often using humor to highlight serious issues. In a 2015 interview with The Guardian, she said, "I signed away my likeness for free. In those days, there was no such thing as a likeness. There was no merchandising tied to movies." This quote underscores the broader issue of how female actors were often exploited financially. The fight for equal pay was another significant aspect of Fisher's battle. During the original trilogy, the disparity between her salary and those of her male co-stars was stark. While she was paid a fraction of what Harrison Ford earned, she continued to push for fair compensation. This issue of pay equity was not unique to Fisher, but was symptomatic of the industry as a whole. Her willingness to speak out brought attention to these inequities and inspired other actors to do the same. She advocated for the inclusion of more strong female characters, not just in lead roles, but throughout the storyline. Her efforts helped pave the way for characters like Ray, played by Daisy Ridley, and Jyn Erso, played by Felicity Jones. These characters embodied the strength, resilience, and leadership qualities that Fisher championed for Leia. One of her most significant contributions to the fight for equality was her work on The Force Awakens. Returning to the franchise after several decades, Fisher found a new generation of filmmakers more receptive to her ideas. She worked closely with director J.J. Abrams to ensure that Leia's character reflected the progress made in gender representation. Her input helped shape Leia into General Organa, a seasoned leader and military strategist, a role that commanded respect and authority. Fisher's advocacy wasn't limited to her on-screen work. She was a vocal critic of Hollywood's beauty standards and the pressure on women to conform to unrealistic ideals. Fisher often spoke about her struggles with body image and the impact of these pressures on her mental health. In a 2011 interview with ABC News, she said, "I think of my body as a side effect of my mind." The weight of stardom. Carrie Fisher's journey through the Star Wars saga was not without its personal and professional challenges. The weight of stardom brought immense pressure, impacting her mental and physical health. Fisher's battles with substance abuse and her struggles with bipolar disorder were well documented, reflecting the darker side of fame. She first entered the world of substance abuse during the filming of The Empire Strikes Back. The intense pressure of living up to the expectations of her iconic role led her to self-medicate. Fisher candidly discussed her addiction in her autobiographies, Postcards from the Edge and Wishful Drinking. In Postcards from the Edge, she fictionalized her own experiences, portraying a young actress dealing with addiction and the pressures of Hollywood. In a 2008 interview with Vanity Fair, Fisher admitted, "Drugs made me feel more normal. They contained me." Her openness about her struggles helped to destigmatize mental health issues and substance abuses, encouraging others to seek help. Her honesty was groundbreaking in an industry that often glossed over such problems. She often linked her substance use to attempts at self-medicating her mental health conditions, a common scenario for many who struggle with similar issues but lack proper diagnosis or treatment. In her 30s, Fisher underwent electroshock therapy, a treatment she spoke about with both humor and gravity. She described the process in her memoir, Shockaholic, explaining how it helped alleviate her depression, a frequent companion of her bipolar disorder. This treatment, though effective for her, also led to some memory loss, which she addressed publicly with her characteristic wit. In her one-woman show, Wishful Drinking, she shared her experiences with humor and resilience, helping to break down the stigma surrounding mental illness. The demands of maintaining the image of Princess Leia also took a toll on Fisher's physical health. The pressure to conform to Hollywood's beauty standards was immense. She faced scrutiny over her weight and appearance throughout her career. When she returned to the Star Wars franchise in The Force Awakens, the media's focus on her appearance sparked a backlash. Fisher responded with her characteristic wit and defiance, tweeting, "Please stop debating about whether or not I aged well. Unfortunately, it hurts all three of my feelings. My body hasn't aged as well as I have. Blow us." Fisher's relationships with her co-stars were also affected by the pressures of stardom. Her on-set affair with Harrison Ford during the filming of A New Hope was a closely guarded secret until she revealed it in her memoir, The Princess Diarist. The revelation provided insight into the complexities of their relationship and the emotional toll it took on her. The return to Star Wars. Carrie Fisher's return to the Star Wars franchise with the sequel trilogy was a significant moment, both for her personally and for the fans who had grown up with Princess Leia. After decades away from the character, she found herself once again in the midst of the galaxy far, far away. This time, she faced new challenges and renewed battles to ensure that Leia's legacy was honored. Involvement in The Force Awakens began with initial skepticism. She was approached by J.J. Abrams, the director, and Kathleen Kennedy, the president of Lucasfilm, who were keen to bring back the original cast. Fisher was excited but cautious about how Leia would be portrayed. She wanted to ensure that Leia's character had evolved in a meaningful way and wasn't just a nostalgic callback. One of her primary concerns was how to portray an older Leia. She insisted that Leia should be shown as a seasoned leader, someone who had matured and taken on significant responsibilities. Fisher worked closely with Abrams and writer Lawrence Kasdan to develop Leia's character. She provided valuable input on the script, ensuring that Leia was depicted as a strong and capable general of the Resistance, reflecting her growth since the original trilogy. Fisher's influence was evident in several key scenes. For instance, her reunion with Han Solo, played by Harrison Ford, was a poignant moment that required careful handling. They worked together to convey the depth of their characters' relationship, drawing on their long history both on and off screen. The scene where Leia and Han discuss their lost son, Kylo Ren, is particularly challenging. Fisher's insistence on portraying the emotional complexity of Leia's situation added a layer of depth to the character. The costume design for General Leia was another area where Fisher left her mark. She collaborated with costume designer Michael Kaplan to create a look that was both practical and dignified. Gone were the elaborate hairstyles and impractical dresses of the original trilogy. Instead, she opted for a more understated, military-inspired wardrobe that reflected Leia's role as a leader. "I wanted Leia to look like she had been through a lot, like she was still fighting the good fight," Fisher said in an interview with People magazine. Fisher's return also brought new challenges, particularly regarding the intense scrutiny of her appearance. The media's focus on her weight and looks was a source of frustration. She responded with her characteristic wit, addressing the double standards faced by women in Hollywood. Her candid remarks highlighted the ongoing issues of ageism and sexism in the industry. Despite these challenges, Fisher's performance in The Force Awakens was widely praised. She brought a sense of gravitas and authenticity to the role, reminding audiences why Leia was such an iconic character. Her chemistry with the new cast members, including Daisy Ridley, Rey, and John Boyega, Finn, helped to bridge the gap between the original trilogy and the new generation of Star Wars films. Her involvement continued with The Last Jedi, directed by Rian Johnson. This film presented new opportunities for Leia's character. Fisher was heavily involved in the development of her scenes, providing input on the dialogue and character motivations. One of the standout moments was Leia's use of the Force to save herself in space, a scene that underscored her connection to the Force and her resilience. Tragically, Fisher passed away in December 2016 before the release of The Last Jedi. Her death was a significant loss for the Star Wars community and the film industry. The Last Jedi was dedicated to Fisher, and her presence loomed large over the final installment, The Rise of Skywalker, where unused footage from previous films was used to include Leia's character. In her 2008 work Wishful Drinking, Fisher wrote that, "No matter how I go, I want it reported that I drowned in moonlight, strangled by my own bra."
She was one of the queens of classic Hollywood and received several awards and nominations during her peak. Known for her incredible talent and ageless beauty and grace, Sybil Shepherd has made quite a name for herself. But behind the dazzling smile and the star-studded career lies a secret, a truth she's kept hidden from the flashing lights of the cameras and the prying eyes of the public. What could a celebrity of her stature possibly want to keep under wraps? The answer lies in a series of events, choices, and moments that paint a picture very different from the one we see on the silver screen. From peak fame to personal battles, Shepard's story is more than just tabloid fodder. It's a saga that questions the very nature of celebrity privacy. Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear is something Sybil Shepherd doesn't want you to know. She had an affair with a married man. Earlier on in her life, Sybil met a man named Peter Bogdanovich. He was a director, producer, and an asset in the Hollywood industry, but somehow the unlikely couple fell in love and had an affair, even when Peter was married with 2 children. But that's not all. According to a Juicy People article from May 1974, Bogdanovich made quite the exit from his previous life with his wife, Patty Platt, and their 2 kids, all in the name of love for Shepherd. At the time of this cinematic love affair, they were living the high life in a lavish Bel Air mansion, the kind dreams are made of. But let's rewind to the awkward beginnings of this Hollywood romance. How exactly did it start? Well, Bogdanovich, in his recollection, paints a vivid picture of their first encounter. Shepherd was perched on the floor, seeming a bit nonchalant. When the director probed about her activities, she casually dropped the bomb that she was in college and had a soft spot for reading. But here's where it gets interesting. Dostoevsky, the heavyweight of Russian literature, was Shepherd's proclaimed favorite author. Yet when Bogdanovich dug deeper and asked which specific book stole her heart, Shepherd stumbled in her response. Red flags, right? But Bogdanovich, ever the perceptive storyteller, sensed a casually destructive quality about her. Despite the enigmatic aura, Shepherd found her way into his film, and their connection started brewing like a Hollywood plot twist. Despite their apparent bliss, the duo waved off any notions of marriage. When he was asked about their relationship and why he's not deciding to marry Sybil, Bogdanovich, with a dash of dismissiveness, said, "That is a chilling thought. Does she look like Mrs. Bogdanovich?" While this came off as an innocent remark, some say it was an indirect insult to Sybil, as it suggested that she was only good enough to be a mistress, never a wife. She couldn't marry right. Sybil Shepherd's journey down the aisle has been a bit of a roller coaster, marked by several marriages that captured the public's attention. Let's take a stroll down the matrimonial memory lane. It all started in a Memphis nightclub where Sybil Shepherd and David Ford's worlds collided in a whirlwind of music and attraction. They were like magnets, drawn together from the get-go. Ford, a guide into the enchanting realm of blues music, sparked a fire in Shepherd's heart for the stage. As their love story unfolded, so did Shepherd's newfound passion for performing. However, every love story has its plot twists. In a candid chat with The Guardian, Shepherd dropped a bombshell, revealing that her bluesy love journey hit a sour note. According to her, Ford Strayed, betraying the trust she had invested in their relationship. The couple called it quits in 1982. The reason for their divorce? Well, they cited irreconcilable differences, and as you can imagine, the divorce wasn't a walk in the park for Sybil. Fast forward to the divorce drama, and the dollars started flowing, $15,000 to be precise, landing in Ford's pocket as part of the settlement. Meanwhile, Shepherd clutched the reins of motherhood, securing custody of their daughter. It was a bittersweet finale to a chapter that started with harmonious melodies, but ended on a dissonant chord. In the aftermath, Shepherd didn't hold back in interviews. Speaking to the Washington Post, she painted a vivid picture of her ex, suggesting that Ford lacked seriousness and passion for pretty much everything. It was a tale of love, loss, and a splash of bluesy betrayal that left Shepherd singing a new tune as she ventured into the next chapter of her life. She was in emotional ruin because somewhere in her heart she had thought David was the one, and she once loved him with all of her heart. As a matter of fact, the couple had a child together, a beautiful girl named Clementine. Sybil saw no end to this new misery she had plunged herself into. The end of any marriage is no easy ordeal for anyone, but she later found the courage to open up about the pain and heartbreak, and the reactions she got from the public both soothed and confused her at the same time. On one hand, some sympathized with the star's personal struggles, showing love and support any way they could, but on the other hand, some others gobbled up the gossip columns, spreading as many rumors as they could about why the marriage ended. But even beyond all of these, anyone would think that Sibel's career would suffer. However, the divorce didn't spell doom for her career. If anything, it added a layer of relatability to her public persona, showcasing the real person behind the Hollywood glamour. Although, in the end, some argue that her career seemed to skyrocket and maybe marry, and this time, stay with the person forever. Little did she know that soon enough her wish would come true, or will it? Just about 5 years later, Sybil found love again, and she eventually tied the knot with Bruce Oppenheim, a successful chiropractor. For the first time in a long time, Sybil felt butterflies again and felt what it was like to be loved for who she was. This time, she was sure she had corrected her mistake with her ex-husband and had found the perfect man. Sadly, fate had other plans, as just 3 years later in 1990, the couple got divorced, giving their beautiful one-year-old twins, Ariel and Zachariah, a broken home. Once more, the public got a front-row seat to the ups and downs of a celebrity marriage. This time around, the media buzz was a bit more frenzied, perhaps fueled by the high-profile nature of both parties. The marriage was the second for both Sibel and Bruce, so it got more attention. However, Sibel weathered the storm with resilience. She felt horrible about it, and the fact that she had had 2 husbands in less than a decade bothered her. Some reports say that she began to feel unworthy of love and tried to distract herself with her career. But unfortunately, it was a lot harder this time because Bruce seemed to be more upset about the divorce than she was, and as a result, he appeared to shut her off completely, leaving her to raise their kids alone and balance a thriving career at the same time. When talking about her pain, Sybil said, "I'm hoping that at some point I'll be able to talk to him and he'll be able to get over his anger about the divorce, to be able to talk about what's best for the children." The public's opinion this time was less than friendly compared to the last time. The perception of Sybil began to morph into one that painted her as a problematic and difficult woman to love and live with as a result of the multiple divorces she has been through. However, Sybil decided that this time she was not going to jump into another relationship. This time she would take things slow and be absolutely sure before she ever got married again. As a matter of fact, she even began to consider never getting married again. This was her mindset until 9 years later, in the year 1999, love got a hold of her, and this time with a man named Andrei Nikolaevich. The taxi driver sensation hit the world with a love bomb by announcing her engagement to Andrei Nikolaevich, a former jeweler who's now rocking the title of psychologist. In a Broadway-worthy reveal to the New York Daily News, the actress spilled the beans while basking in the limelight of her role in The Best Man. With a twinkle in her eye, she exclaimed, "I'm engaged!" And if that wasn't enough to set the town buzzing, she dropped the interesting twist on her fiancé's impressive career switch. He used to be a jeweler, but he made a transition and became a psychologist. Nikolaevich is clearly a man of diverse talents. In a plot twist no one saw coming, Shepard confessed, "I never thought I'd get married again." But love, as they say, has its own script, and Shepard and Nikolaevich are about to embark on a new chapter of their love story. However, the ghost of her past keeps haunting her through the media, as she married the wrong man twice before and has grown-up children to prove it who do not have a present father. It is a mistake she made, and she would sadly pay for the rest of her life. She struggled with weight and body image. In the raw and unfiltered pages of Sybil Disobedience, Sybil Shepard lays bare the intricate trajectory of her life, revealing a landscape marked by personal struggles, the kind that most often remains concealed beneath the glittering surface of the entertainment industry. Weight and body image become focal points in Shepard's narrative, unraveling a deeply personal battle that transcends the superficiality of Hollywood standards. In a culture obsessed with appearances, Shepard confronts the demons that lurk in the shadows of fame. The book becomes a mirror reflecting the harsh scrutiny she faced, the whispers that echoed in the corridors of showbiz, and the relentless pressure to conform to an unrealistic ideal. The chapters on body image don't romanticize the struggle. Instead, Shepard paints a vivid picture of the challenges she faced, of feeling scrutinized and judged, of navigating a world that often measured her worth by external standards. She suffered sexual harassment. A little into her career, Sybil Shepard stepped into the spotlight to share some terrible and difficult news, shedding light on her unsettling encounter with the once mighty studio head, Leslie Moonves. On The Michelle Collins Show, Shepard peeled back the layers of an industry rife with power dynamics and exposed the personal toll it took on her career. The actress disclosed a disturbing incident during a dinner with Moonves, where the conversation took an uncomfortably intimate turn. Moonves, a figure wielding significant influence, allegedly propositioned Shepard for inappropriate intimate relations, revealing intimate details about his personal life in the process. Shepard, the star of her own popular series at the time, recounts Moonves expressing dissatisfaction with his wife and a mistress, leading to the inappropriate suggestion of taking her home. With a steely resolve, Shepard declined the advances and insisted that she would take her own car home when he requested to drop her off. She had her own car parked outside, safeguarded by an off-duty LAPD officer. But little did she know that the director didn't take kindly to her rejection. Shepard's show, which had been riding the waves of popularity, faced an abrupt cancellation. The actress connects the dots, attributing the sudden downfall of her series to her rejection of Moonves' advances. It was then that she voiced out, but her allegation that placed her among a growing chorus of women accusing the studio head of using his power to silence those who rebuffed his advances. She was not alone. Leslie Moonves found himself at the epicenter of a storm, facing allegations of inappropriate misconduct that have reverberated throughout the industry. The cascade of accusations against him has prompted a wider investigation into a potential culture of misconduct at CBS, underscoring the broader implications of such behavior within powerful institutions. She dated Elvis Presley. In a throwback that takes us deep into the annals of Hollywood history, Sybil Shepard, the luminary of the 70s silver screen, peels back the layers of time to reveal a chapter from her past, one intertwined with the king of rock and roll himself, Elvis Presley. She was only a budding actress at the time, catapulted to stardom with breakthrough roles in iconic films like The Last Picture Show and The Heartbreak Kid. At just 22, Sybil Shepard's star was on the rise, and it caught the attention of none other than the legendary Elvis Presley. When the news reached the king that Sybil was in Memphis, he couldn't resist the opportunity to meet her. Their encounter, steeped in the heady mix of fame and allure, led to a romance that left an indelible mark on Sybil's memories. She's been candid about their liaison, not shying away from the intimate details. In an interview, she dropped a bombshell about having taught Elvis one major thing in the area of intimacy, a revelation that sent shockwaves through the echoes of their past. But also, looking back, she felt embarrassed about telling the world something so personal. Yet, like many tales of passion, theirs was not destined to be an enduring saga. The romance that sparked like wildfire dimmed all too soon, overshadowed by the struggles that haunted the king, prescription drug habits that became a chasm between them. Sybil, despite being captivated by the most beautiful man she had ever seen, found herself on a divergent path, one free from the allure of substances. The bedroom where passion and complications collided became a stage for a fleeting love story. Sybil reminisces about Elvis, a man who would enter the room in moments of vulnerability, leaving behind not just his presence but also tokens of affection, drugs, and dazzling emerald and diamond jewelry. It was a relationship painted with contrasts, where the intensity of beauty and fame clashed with the shadows of personal struggles. Financial insecurity. In the roller coaster ride of life, even Hollywood stars like Sybil Shepard find themselves navigating stormy financial seas. The late 1990s was a time when the world was dialing up the internet on chunky computers, and Sybil was facing a financial tempest. Money, usually a silent backdrop in the world of fame, took center stage. The whispers of financial challenges grew louder, echoing through the glamorous corridors of Hollywood. It was during this tumultuous period that Cybill Shepherd found herself at a crossroads, a junction where she had to confront the harsh reality of financial turmoil. In a move that many would consider a last resort, she made the difficult decision to file for bankruptcy. This wasn't just a blip on the financial radar, it was a seismic event that shook the foundations of her economic stability. Bankruptcy was a word loaded with stigma, and it became a chapter in Cybill's life story, one that demanded not just financial resilience, but emotional strength. Cybill and Bruce Willis's drama. Let's rewind to the set of Moonlighting in the 80s. A time when the TV screens were graced by the chemistry of Cybill Shepherd and Bruce Willis. Amidst the on-screen banter and detective escapades, there brewed a different kind of drama behind the scenes. Reports surfaced not of the harmonious collaboration we often imagine, but of tension that hung in the air like a storm waiting to break. The working relationship between Cybill Shepherd and her co-star Bruce Willis was far from smooth sailing. It was a tale of on-set discord, a feud that simmered beneath the surface of their on-screen camaraderie. As the cameras rolled, capturing the witty exchanges and crime-solving antics, off-camera whispers spoke of a challenging dynamic. The specifics of the feud remained elusive, confined to the closed doors of the set. Yet the tension became an unspoken undercurrent, a palpable energy that altered the narrative of what viewers witnessed on screen. In the real-world script of Moonlighting, the clash between Shepherd and Willis added an unexpected layer of complexity. It wasn't the seamless partnership often portrayed in the entertainment world. Instead, it was a glimpse into the reality that not all co-star relationships are built on camaraderie. The feud was a narrative that, while not stealing the limelight from the show's success, added a certain tension to the backstage drama. In the end, the reports of the feud became a footnote in the history of Moonlighting, a behind-the-scenes saga that colored the era when Shepherd and Willis shared the small screen. It's a reminder that the magic of television doesn't always translate into a harmonious off-screen partnership, and sometimes the tension backstage becomes its own kind of drama, hidden in the shadows of Hollywood's bright lights. Projects that basically failed. One notable project that faced the scrutiny of public reception was the film Daisy Miller in 1974, directed by Peter Bogdanovich. Despite the cinematic pedigree of both Shepherd and Bogdanovich, the film encountered a lukewarm response from critics. The adaptation of Henry James's novel was met with mixed reviews, and while Shepherd's performance garnered praise for its charm and grace, the overall reception of the film did not set the box office ablaze. The tepid response to Daisy Miller became a note in Shepherd's professional journey. Fast forward to the 90s, and Shepherd found herself at the helm of the sitcom Cybill. The show, which ran from 1995 to 1998, showcased Shepherd's comedic prowess as she portrayed a struggling actress navigating the challenges of Hollywood. While Cybill had its loyal fan base and earned Shepherd a Golden Globe Award, it also faced its share of critical evaluation. Some critics lauded the show for its wit and Shepherd's performance, while others found fault with aspects of the storytelling. The nuanced reception of Cybill added complexity to Shepherd's television legacy. But that wasn't all. The film Martha, Inc., the story of Martha Stewart in 2003, marked another chapter in Shepherd's career. Portraying the iconic business magnate Martha Stewart, Shepherd faced the challenge of embodying a larger-than-life figure. The project, however, was met with mixed reviews, with critiques directed toward the portrayal of Stewart and the overall execution of the narrative. The intersection of art and public reception once again played a significant role in shaping the narrative of Shepherd's career. These failures and mixed reactions were terrible for her career. In the grand scheme of Hollywood, where every project contributes to the evolving story of an artist, Shepherd's journey is no exception. The critical reception of certain works, be it films like Daisy Miller, TV shows like Cybill, or biopics like Martha, Inc., adds layers to the narrative. failed music career. In the late 70s, Cybill Shepherd decided to embark on a parallel journey into the world of music, unveiling a dimension of her artistic prowess that extended beyond the silver screen. The year 1979 marked the release of her musical venture, an album titled Vanilla, a departure from the spotlight of Hollywood to the rhythm and melody of the recording studio. Vanilla was a fusion of Shepherd's sultry voice with the musical vibes of the late 70s. The album, a collection of pop and jazz-infused tunes, showcased a different facet of Shepherd's artistic expression. Her vocal stylings, characterized by a smooth and evocative quality, added a layer of complexity to her public persona. However, the reception of Vanilla didn't mirror the resounding success of her acting career. While the album displayed Shepherd's vocal talent, it failed to make significant waves in the music industry. The critical reception was mixed, with some praising the effort and others finding the foray into music less compelling than her established presence on screen. Despite the commercial and critical challenges, Shepherd's venture into music demonstrated her versatility as an artist. The album may not have soared to the top of the charts, but it served as a testament to her willingness to explore different artistic realms. In the aftermath of Vanilla, Shepherd continued her primary focus on acting, and her music career took a back seat. The album remains a snapshot in time, capturing a moment when Shepherd dared to step into the world of music, bringing her unique voice to a different stage. In hindsight, the music career might not have been a meteoric rise, but it adds a colorful note to the symphony of Shepherd's artistic journey. Either way, Cybill Shepherd may not have been perfect, but she has definitely left her mark in Hollywood. In the early 1940s, Ava Gardner went from being a poor teenager from Grabtown to being one of the most desired stars in Hollywood. While this transformation changed her financial status, fame came with its challenges. From navigating Hollywood as a young, attractive woman to having romantic relationships with some of the most attractive men in Hollywood, Ava Gardner lived an interesting life. In the late 1980s, she decided to let the world know some of her deepest, darkest secrets by writing a memoir. You are about to unveil some of the shocking revelations she penned down in her memoir. The Calm Before the Storm. Like many other Hollywood stars, Ava Gardner came from humble beginnings. Several years before the spotlight shone on her, Ava Gardner was living a normal life in the rural community of Grabtown. Born on Christmas Eve in 1922, Ava Gardner was the seventh child of Jonas and Mary Gardner. Right from childhood, Ava was a bright young girl, and greatness was written all over her. She spent her early years surrounded by her siblings and parents as they lived in a farmhouse. She grew up enveloped by the enchanting landscapes of the rural South, where cotton fields stretched as far as the eye could see, and the sunsets painted the sky in hues of gold and crimson. Around their house, there were acres of land where her parents cultivated cotton in order to earn a living. Truth is, Ava's parents were hardworking people, and they did all they could to provide for their children, but tragedy soon struck and frustrated their efforts. When Ava turned 3, her family experienced something that shook the foundation of their close-knit family. It was said that a fire erupted and burnt down their barn and cotton gin to the ground. It was a terrible experience that completely changed their lives. The tragedy left their finances in shambles, and Ava's family had to start again from scratch. Her family would later be relocated to Brogden, where her parents took on odd jobs in order to survive. With the dawn of the Great Depression, things got worse for the family, but through it all, her parents insisted on Ava and her sisters getting basic education. After the unfortunate death of her father in 1938, Ava and her family were left to fend for themselves. Somehow, growing up in these difficult situations made Ava Gardner even more resilient. She would later find herself gravitating towards the world of showbiz. Interestingly, her mother saw that she had star potential right from the start and encouraged her to step into Hollywood when the opportunity presented itself. Ava Gardner was still very young when she was discovered. Sure, she was excited about being a Hollywood star, but nothing prepared her for the shocking events that would unfold. Entering the tumultuous world of Hollywood, It was like a dream come true when Ava Gardner was selected to be one of MGM's young stars. Little did this 18-year-old know that fame and influence came at a cost. In the bustling streets of New York City, a star was about to be born, and her name was Ava Gardner. Her journey to Hollywood stardom was set in motion by a series of serendipitous events and the discovery of her radiant beauty. As fate would have it, one fateful day, her elder sister's husband, who was a portrait photographer, thought it would be wise to take pictures of young Ava Gardner and display them in his studio. Ava Gardner's beauty and natural charisma were evident from the moment she stepped in front of Larry Tarr's camera. Recognizing her potential, Tarr wasted no time and took several captivating portraits of the young beauty. Larry Tarr was so impressed by Ava's photographs that he displayed them in the window of his photography studio. Little did he know that these very pictures would become the catalyst for Ava's journey to stardom. One of those very portraits caught the eye of a prominent talent agent, who was immediately struck by Ava's stunning features and undeniable allure. This agent wasted no time in reaching out to Ava and offering her an opportunity that would change her life forever. The name of this influential talent agent was Al Altman. He saw in Ava Gardner the potential for greatness and saw to it that her talent was recognized by the right people in the entertainment industry. It wasn't long before Ava's unique beauty and promising star quality caught the attention of none other than MGM Studios, one of Hollywood's most prestigious film studios. MGM was determined to turn this diamond in the rough into a shining star on the silver screen. She may not have aced her first test in the studio, but they believed that they could train her and turn her into a star. With a contract in hand, Ava Gardner bid farewell to her life in New York and embarked on a new chapter in Hollywood. It was 1941 when she made her debut in a small role in the film Babes on Broadway, which was just the beginning of her remarkable career. Her looks were undeniably instrumental in opening doors for her in Hollywood. With her piercing green eyes, cascading brunette locks, and radiant smile that could light up the darkest room, she possessed a kind of beauty that was simply irresistible. But it wasn't just her beauty that set her apart. Ava had a presence and confidence that demanded attention, making her a standout among the aspiring starlets of the time. As she honed her acting skills and gained more experience, critics and audiences alike couldn't help but notice the raw talent that lay beneath her beautiful exterior. She had a unique ability to connect with her characters and bring them to life on the screen. As the years went by, Ava Gardner's star continued to rise, and she went on to deliver unforgettable performances in iconic films like The Killers, Mogambo, and The Barefoot Contessa, making her one of the brightest stars in Hollywood. As expected, her glory days in Hollywood came with a lot of attention from men. She was one of the most desired actresses of her time, and a lot of influential men wanted to be with her. But after several years of fame and influence, Ava Gardner found herself in a dark place in the late 1980s. The lights had dimmed and the applause had faded. She was broke, alone, and usually drowning in alcohol. This was the period that she made up her mind to write a memoir, revealing some of her deepest, darkest secrets. Her shocking revelations about Mickey Rooney. I either write the book or sell the jewels, and I'm kinda sentimental about the jewels. Ava Gardner said this as she explained why she made up her mind to write a book. She desperately needed to get out of the financial situation she was in, and she knew without a shadow of a doubt that a memoir would grab the attention of several people and sell like crazy. As soon as her mind was made up, she called the renowned British journalist Peter Evans to ghostwrite a book filled with her deathbed confessions. At the very top of her confession list was the story of her relationship and marriage to none other than Mickey Rooney. Ava Gardner was only 19 years old when she met Mickey Rooney on the MGM set. The young Mike Rooney was filming a comedic musical number when Ava Gardner stepped in. Mickey was completely mesmerized by her beauty, and he could not resist her. Soon after, they fell in love and got married. Ava revealed that she was innocent and still a virgin when she married Mickey Rooney. In her memoir, she stated that Mike Rooney was extremely sexually attracted to her and that she had no idea that he was a cheater. In her words, "I still didn't know he was the biggest wolf on the lot. He'd screw anything that moved." The two youngsters seemed like the it couple, but their marriage was not as it seemed on the surface. In her memoir, Ava Gardner made shocking revelations about her tumultuous relationship with Mike Rooney. According to her, her marriage to Mickey Rooney would become a tumultuous affair, riddled with betrayal and heartache. After their wedding, he began to unleash the cheater in him. She recalled a particular incident that took place at one of the lowest moments of her life. She had fallen ill and was hospitalized after an appendectomy. To her greatest surprise, Mike Rooney didn't hesitate to cheat on her. Even though Ava was recovering from an appendectomy in the hospital, Mickey Rooney's wandering eye knew no bounds. In a stunning display of audacity, he chose to cheat on his stunning wife right in their marital bed. As Ava Gardner lay in the hospital, weakened from the surgery, she never expected her husband's disloyalty to strike so close to home. The betrayal in her most vulnerable moment was proof of Rooney's reckless behavior all through their marriage. Known for his insatiable appetite for women, Mickey Rooney seemed to move from one conquest to another with ease. According to Ava, he went through the ladies like a hot knife through fudge, indicating the extent of his infidelity. Through her candid statement, Ava Gardner shed light on the painful reality of her marriage, unveiling the heartache she endured as her husband's eyes wandered all through their marriage. Through it all, they maintained an image of a perfect couple on the outside, until their marriage came crumbling down in May 1943, a year later. Sadly, her tumultuous first marriage was only the beginning of a series of romantic relationships that would affect Ava Gardner in ways she never imagined. She never loved Howard Hughes. After her first marriage came to an end, the actress got into a relationship with Howard Hughes. She had genuinely given her heart to Mike Rooney, but she couldn't say the same for Howard Hughes. In her memoir, she revealed that she never loved Howard. She made it clear that she was appreciative of what he did for her mother, but she didn't like certain things about him. When her mother was dying, Howard paid for her medical care. This was a reflection of his kind heart, but there were some things about him that she just couldn't shake off. In her memoir, she alleged that Howard had prejudiced views and biased attitudes. In her words, Howard wouldn't piss on a black man to put him out if he was on fire. As surprising as this revelation was, Ava Gardner was just getting started. Her next revelation was about Artie Shaw, her second husband. She called Artie Shaw a bully. Her career was beginning to take off in the mid-1940s, and everything seemed to be going well. Then she met Artie Shaw. He seemed like the perfect man, but time would prove otherwise. As fate would have it, Ava's introduction to Artie came through a mutual friend, actress Frances Heflin, and it was an encounter that sparked a whirlwind romance. Artie had just returned from the Second World War, and he was riding the waves of fame as a celebrated band leader and composer. When they met, they looked like a match made in heaven. With his intelligence and charisma, Ava fell head over heels for him in no time. Their love blossomed, and after several months of dating, Ava took the leap and moved in with Artie. On a serene October day in 1945, the couple exchanged vows in a small ceremony at their Beverly Hills abode. Ava was 22 at the time, while Artie was 35 years old. Their age gap seemed to not be a problem, and their love certainly looked beautiful on the outside. Unfortunately, the fairy tale took a bitter turn once the confetti settled. Despite a longer courtship and living together before tying the knot, their marital bliss was short-lived, and the relationship began to unravel after the wedding bells had chimed. In the pages of her memoir, Ava Gardner would later lift the curtain on the truth behind her turbulent marriage. The Artie Shaw she thought she knew was not the man he appeared to be. Ava revealed that beneath Shaw's suave exterior lay a different side, a kind of bully who constantly belittled her, chipping away at her confidence and happiness. In her words, he was another kind of bully. He was always putting me down. The revelation in her memoir was a shocking twist in the tale of their love story, unveiling a darker reality behind the glamorous facade of Hollywood's golden couple. Ava Gardner's revelation about Artie Shaw certainly came as a shock to a lot of people who thought their marriage was flawless, but what was even more surprising was what she did as a result of the pain that Artie Shaw put her through. She took an IQ test. Within the pages of her memoir, Ava Gardner would unveil something that she did while she was married to Artie Shaw. Despite the success she had amassed in Hollywood, Ava claimed that she found herself grappling with feelings of intellectual inadequacy when she was married to Artie Shaw. She claimed that she was so unhappy that she found herself indulging in vices. According to her, She was smoking 3 packs of Winston's a day and getting drunk constantly while she was married to Artie Shaw. In her words, "He had me convinced that I was completely stupid. I didn't have an enormous IQ, but I did have a high one." In her memoir, she revealed that her then-husband, Artie Shaw, said and did things that made her doubt herself. Ava felt intellectually overshadowed by Shaw's brilliance, which left her yearning for a way to measure her own intelligence. In search of validation, she decided to take an IQ test. The IQ test became a pivotal moment in Ava's life, as it revealed that her insecurities were unfounded. Her results indicated a high score, proving that she was more than just a woman with good looks. She possessed intelligence and wit that could rival the best. The revelation of her high IQ score was both empowering and liberating for Ava. After seeing the test result, her self-doubt was finally put to rest. The couple later got divorced on the 25th of October 1946. She claimed that Artie dumped her 1 week after their first anniversary for another woman. However, the end of her marriage to Artie Shaw would lead her to a man that she considered the love of her life, finding true love and a secret affair. When Frank Sinatra laid his eyes on Ava Gardner, he knew then and there that he wanted her for himself, but he was married at the time. Although he ended up leaving his wife for her, Ava Gardner revealed that she was unfaithful to Frank Sinatra. In the late 1940s, Ava Gardner's career was on the rise. She was making waves for her role in high-profile movies like The Hucksters and The Great Sinner. This was the period that she began to fall in love with renowned singer and actor Frank Sinatra. Ava and Frank Sinatra initially met while she was still married to her first husband, but nothing transpired between them until they met again in a party in 1949. Frank was still married to Grace Sinatra at the time, but their marriage was reportedly in shambles. It was said that Ava and Frank could not stay away from each other, so they began a secret love affair. They tried to be discreet, but the world soon found out about it. In her memoir, she said Frank Sinatra knew that it was true love on the first date. This was how their first date went. In the late-night hours, as they embarked on a drunken drive from Palm Springs to Indio, an adventure unfolded that solidified their bond. Armed with a pair of .38s kept in his glove compartment, the chairman and his beloved companion playfully shot out streetlights and store windows, leaving behind a trail of unforgettable memories. Frank was in the process of divorcing his wife at the time, but as soon as the divorce was final, he and Ava tied the knot in 1951. Ava was in her late 20s at the time, and Frank was in his mid-50s. Their love was said to be electrifying at the start, but things soon changed. In her memoir, she revealed that they started having problems during their courtship. From the outset, their courtship seemed like a tempestuous whirlwind, marked by fiery encounters and bouts of boozing and fighting. While their passionate connection drew them together, it also led them down a path filled with turbulence and emotional storms. Ava also revealed that she got pregnant twice when she was with Frank Sinatra, and she aborted both times. These heart-wrenching choices made amidst the strains of their relationship left an indelible mark on both of their lives. As the years passed, the fervor that once brought them together couldn't save them from their own inner demons. The same intensity that sparked their romance seemed to fuel their conflicts, leading to a marriage that mirrored the turbulence of their courtship. Their union became plagued by public dispute and chaos that filled the tabloids. Shockingly, one of Ava Gardner's deathbed revelations was about her secret affair with Robert Mitchum. She revealed that while she was seeing Frank Sinatra, she was having an affair with Robert. In her words, "I was crazy about him." When she summoned the courage to tell Robert that she was also seeing Frank Sinatra, he ended things immediately. In her memoir, she detailed what he said: "Get into a fight with him and he won't stop until one of you is dead." Gardner said Robert didn't want to risk it being him, so he fled for his life. Frank Sinatra and Ava kept trying to make things work, but after a while they decided to end things. Their divorce was later finalized on the 5th of July, 1957. Ava went on to reveal more facts about her relationships, but her claims about what George Scott did to her were indeed shocking. George C. Scott did this to her behind closed doors. One of Ava Gardner's deathbed revelations was the truth about her brief relationship with George Scott. While the duo were dating back in the day, their fans admired them and people said they were a cute couple. However, there was nothing cute about what was happening between the couple behind closed doors. She claimed that George Scott had been abusive towards her while they were in a relationship. She went on to detail one of the fights they had and how dark it got. According to her, he got physically abusive when he was drunk. In one of their fights, she said Scott smashed bottles to make weapons. She was terrified of what he was going to do next, but again, he had abused her this way before. In her words, "He was kneeling across me, waving the jagged edges of the glass in front of my face with one hand and hitting me with the other, telling me he loved me and smashing a fist into my eye. 'Marry me, do you hear what I'm saying?' Followed by another blow." People were certainly shocked to find out that she endured all this, but of all the things she said in her memoir, she made it clear that she was aware that she made bad choices when it came to men. She also said that her friend warned her about some of the men that she dated, but she didn't listen. Lana Turner tried to warn her. All through her lifetime, some of her heartache came as a result of the men she chose to date. Perhaps if she listened to her best friend, things would have been different. Ava Gardner's best friend, Lana Turner, was also known to have attracted some of the most successful and influential men at the time. Interestingly, she was once romantically involved with some of the men that Ava Gardner was later involved with. She saw the different sides to these men, and she knew what they were capable of, so she didn't hesitate to advise Ava Gardner. When Ava Gardner told Lana about her decision to be with Frank Sinatra, Lana begged her not to go through with it. Interestingly, Lana had affairs with both Frank Sinatra and Shaw in the past, so she was well equipped to advise her friend. Recalling what her best friend told her, Ava Gardner wrote, "I've been there, honey," she told me. "Don't do it." I should have listened to her. The deed had already been done. She got into the relationships, learned her lessons, and lived to tell her story. The actress's life was truly one hell of a ride, but through it all, she tried to live life to the fullest. Although she started married to each of her husbands for a short period,
Grace Kelly, fishing an emerald bracelet out of a fish tank while completely nude, it's not a scene from one of her famous films, but a real-life moment that exposed her secret affair. The Princess of Monaco wasn't always royal, and her path to the throne was paved with scandals and secrets. Buckle up as we dive into the juicy details of Grace Kelly's most shocking indiscretion. The Rising Star. She was born on November 12, 1929 in Philadelphia. The third of four children, Grace Patricia Kelly grew up in a wealthy family. Her father, John B. Kelly Sr., was an Olympic gold medalist in rowing, winning 3 gold medals in the 1920 and 1924 Olympics. He later became a successful businessman in the brickmaking industry, amassing a fortune of over $200 million in today's currency. Her mother, Margaret Catherine Major, was the first woman to head the physical education department at the University of Pennsylvania. The Kelly household was strict and achievement-oriented, with Grace often feeling overshadowed by her athletic siblings. At age 12, Grace acted in her first play, Don't Feed the Animals, at the Old Academy Players in East Falls. This early experience sparked her passion for acting. Throughout her teens, she participated in school plays and local theater productions, often taking on challenging roles beyond her years. In 1947, at 18, she moved to New York City to pursue her dreams. She enrolled at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, paying her own tuition by modeling on the side. Her modeling work included appearances in magazines like Cosmopolitan and TV commercials for Old Gold cigarettes and Bayer aspirin. She earned $400 a week from modeling, a substantial sum at the time. During her time at the Academy, Grace studied under renowned acting coach Sanford Meisner, who helped shape her naturalistic acting style. She also took dance lessons and worked on perfecting her diction, determined to lose her Philadelphia accent. Her first big break came in 1949 when she debuted on Broadway in The Father by August Strindberg. Though the play ran for only 69 performances, it caught the attention of Hollywood producers. Critics praised her luminous quality, foreshadowing her future screen presence. In 1951, she made her film debut in 14 Hours, playing a small role as Louise Ann Fuller. The part lasted only 2 minutes on screen, but it was enough to get her noticed. Director Henry Hathaway later said, "There was something very special about her. She was graceful, gracious, and projected an inner calm." Her breakthrough came in 1952 when she starred opposite Gary Cooper in High Noon. The film was a massive success, winning 4 Academy Awards. Grace's performance as Amy Fowler Kane earned her critical acclaim and opened doors in Hollywood. The New York Times praised her bravely gallant and strong performance, highlighting her ability to hold her own against the veteran Cooper. During this time, she dated several high-profile men, including Clark Gable and Ray Milland. However, she kept her personal life private, cultivating an image of elegance and sophistication. She was often seen at the Stork Club, a popular celebrity haunt, but always maintained a dignified presence. In a rare interview from that period, Grace said, "I think it's because I was brought up believing it was graceless to talk about yourself and immodest to call attention to yourself." This reticence only added to her mystique and appeal. By 1953, at just 24 years old, Grace had become one of Hollywood's most sought-after actresses. She signed a 7-year contract with MGM, worth $750 per week with built-in raises. The American Academy Romance. In 1947, Grace Kelly began her studies at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City. The prestigious school, founded in 1884, had already produced stars like Spencer Tracy and Lauren Bacall. During her time at the Academy, she met Don Richardson, a 30-year-old instructor. Richardson, married but separated, taught acting and directed student productions. Despite their 12-year age gap, the two quickly developed a close relationship. Grace excelled in her studies, earning praise from instructors and fellow students alike. In her second year, she played the lead in the Academy's production of The Philadelphia Story, a role that would later become iconic in her film career. Richardson, impressed by her talent and beauty, began to mentor her closely. Their relationship soon turned romantic, though they kept it discreet due to the school's policies and Richardson's marital status. In a later interview, Richardson recalled, "Grace was not the naive, sheltered girl many thought. She was a determined young woman who knew what she wanted." Her time at the Academy was marked by hard work and ambition. She took on various jobs to support herself, including modeling for the Walter Thornton Agency and working as a photographer's assistant. The relationship with Richardson continued to deepen, becoming a significant part of her early adult life. It was her first serious romance, and it would later play a crucial role in shaping her approach to relationships. By the time Grace graduated from the Academy in 1949, she had not only honed her acting skills, but also experienced her first taste of the complex romantic entanglements that would later define her personal life. Family disapproval. In 1950, Grace Kelly brought Don Richardson home to Philadelphia to meet her family. The Kellys, a prominent Irish Catholic household, lived in a stately brick mansion in the East Falls neighborhood. Her father, Jack Kelly, was a self-made millionaire and former Olympic rower. Her mother, Margaret, was a former model and swimming instructor. The family, including 3 siblings, adhered to strict Catholic values. The meeting was tense from the start. Jack Kelly, known for his blunt manner, immediately took issue with Richardson. He was 12 years older than Grace, still legally married and Jewish. All red flags for the conservative Kellys. During dinner, Jack Kelly reportedly asked Richardson pointed questions about his background and intentions. Her mother, Margaret, remained politely distant throughout the evening. Grace's older sister, Peggy, later recalled, "Father was furious. He couldn't believe she would bring home someone so unsuitable." The family's disapproval was clear. Jack Kelly allegedly told her, "No daughter of mine will be involved with a divorced man, let alone a Jew." This rejection deeply upset Grace, who had hoped her family would see beyond their prejudices. She stood by Richardson, causing a rift with her parents that would take months to heal. Despite the family's objections, she continued her relationship with Richardson in New York. She balanced her budding acting career with her romance, often sneaking away from auditions to meet him. The conflict with her family over Richardson marked one of the first times Grace openly defied her parents' wishes. It showcased her independence and willingness to follow her heart, traits that would define her throughout her life. This period of tension lasted several months, during which she had limited contact with her family. She threw herself into her work, landing small roles in television and theater productions. Grace's other suitors. As Grace Kelly's star rose in Hollywood, so did her list of admirers. Between 1951 and 1955, she was linked to several high-profile men, each adding to her growing reputation as a desirable leading lady. One of her early romances was with the debonair Oleg Cassini, a fashion designer who dressed Hollywood's elite. Cassini, 15 years her senior, proposed marriage in 1954. She accepted but later broke off the engagement, citing family pressure. In 1953, during the filming of Mogambo, she had a brief affair with Clark Gable. Gable, then 52, was captivated by the 24-year-old actress. Their on-set romance was an open secret, with co-star Ava Gardner later quipping, "Grace was the only woman I ever knew who slept with her makeup on." Another notable suitor was Claudius Charles Philippe, the charismatic banquet manager of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Philippe, known for his connections in high society, courted Grace with extravagant gestures and introduced her to New York's elite social circles. Perhaps the most intriguing of her paramours was Ali Khan, a wealthy playboy and son of the Aga Khan III. Khan, fresh from his divorce from Rita Hayworth, pursued Grace relentlessly. Their affair was discreet but intense, with Khan showering her with expensive gifts. During this period, she also dated Ray Milland, her co-star in Dial M for Murder. Their relationship caused a scandal as Milland was married at the time. Her dating life became fodder for gossip columns. Hedda Hopper, a famous Hollywood columnist, once wrote, "Grace Kelly's romances are as varied as her film roles. One wonders which will lead to a lasting performance." Despite the attention on her love life, Grace maintained a public image of sophistication and discretion. She rarely commented on her relationships, once telling a reporter, "A woman's private life should remain private." In late 1951, Grace Kelly received a stunning emerald bracelet. The piece was exquisite, a gold band studded with large, vivid green emeralds. Its value was estimated at over $5,000, a small fortune at the time. The bracelet's origin became a subject of speculation. Many believed it was a gift from Ali Khan, known for his lavish presents to lovers. Khan had a habit of giving similar jewelry to his paramours, often recycling designs. Grace wore the bracelet sparingly, aware of its potential to spark gossip. She was seen with it at a few Hollywood parties, always deflecting questions about its provenance. During a fitting for High Noon in 1952, costume designer Edith Head noticed the bracelet. Head later recalled, "It was too opulent for a young actress's salary. I knew it must have come from an admirer." The bracelet became a secret symbol of her hidden romantic life. She kept it in a locked jewelry box in her apartment, away from prying eyes. In March 1952, Grace attended a charity gala wearing the bracelet. Gossip columnist Luella Parsons noted in her column, "Miss Kelly's new emerald bracelet caused quite a stir. One wonders who the generous benefactor might be." The jeweler who created the bracelet, wishing to remain anonymous, described it years later. "It was a custom piece designed to catch the light. Whoever commissioned it wanted to make a statement." Grace's close friend, actress Rita Gam, once asked about the bracelet. Grace reportedly smiled and said, "A lady never tells, darling." The fateful evening. On a crisp autumn evening in 1952, Grace Kelly invited Don Richardson to her New York apartment. She had just finished filming Mogambo and was back in the city for a brief stay. The apartment, located on East 66th Street, was a small but elegantly furnished one-bedroom. She had decorated it herself, mixing antiques with modern pieces. Richardson arrived around 8 p.m., bringing a bottle of champagne to celebrate Grace's recent success. The couple had been seeing each other less frequently due to her busy filming schedule. Grace greeted him wearing a simple black dress, her hair loose around her shoulders. What caught Richardson's eye, however, was the emerald bracelet glinting on her wrist. The evening began pleasantly. They shared a light dinner Grace had prepared, a salad and cold chicken, a recipe she'd learned from her mother. After dinner, they moved to the small living room. She put on a record, Frank Sinatra's "I've Got You Under My Skin," and poured more champagne. As they talked, Grace seemed distracted, frequently touching the emerald bracelet. Richardson later recalled, she kept fiddling with it, almost nervously. Around 10 p.m., she excused herself to change. When she returned, she was wearing nothing but the emerald bracelet. This bold move was uncharacteristic of the usually reserved Grace. The confrontation. Richardson, who had been in a relationship with Kelly for several months, noticed a distinctive emerald bracelet she was wearing. He recognized it as similar to one he had seen on another woman at a party. That woman had mentioned it was a gift from Ali Khan, a well-known playboy and international socialite. When Richardson questioned Kelly about the bracelet's origin, she was unable to provide a satisfactory explanation. This led to a heated discussion about their relationship and Kelly's involvement with other men, particularly Ali Khan. The confrontation resulted in the end of Kelly and Richardson's relationship. Richardson, feeling betrayed, broke things off with Kelly. Grace's primary concern following the breakup was likely protecting her public image and burgeoning career. As a rising star in Hollywood, she was acutely aware of the potential damage that personal scandals could cause. In the days and weeks following the incident, Grace continued her work in Hollywood without any public hint of personal turmoil. She maintained her carefully cultivated image of elegance and purity, which was crucial to her appeal as an actress. The bracelet incident, while significant in her personal life, did not impact her professional trajectory. Grace's career continued to flourish, suggesting that she was adept at separating her private affairs from her public persona, Hollywood ascent. In the wake of the bracelet incident, Grace Kelly threw herself into her work. 1953 saw her star rise meteorically in Hollywood, transforming her from a promising newcomer to a bona fide A-list celebrity. Her performance in Mogambo alongside Clark Gable and Ava Gardner earned her first Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. The film, directed by John Ford, was a romantic adventure set in Africa. It grossed over $8 million at the box office, a substantial sum for the time. On set, director John Ford praised Grace's professionalism. "She's always prepared, always on time," he told reporters. A director's dream. Ford, known for his gruff demeanor, rarely gave such effusive praise, making his words all the more impactful in Hollywood circles. In rapid succession, she appeared in 5 films in 1954, an incredible feat that demonstrated her work ethic and versatility as an actress. Dial M for Murder, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, was her first collaboration with the master of suspense. The thriller, in which she played a woman marked for murder by her husband, made $2.7 million domestically. Hitchcock was impressed by Grace's ability to project vulnerability and strength simultaneously. Rear Window, another Hitchcock classic, followed. Her chemistry with James Stewart was palpable, and the film earned $5.3 million at the box office. Her character, Lisa Fremont, became a fashion icon, with women across America clamoring to emulate her elegant style. Edith Head, the costume designer, said, "Never have I worked with someone who knew so instinctively what worked for her on screen." The country girl proved to be Grace's defining role. Playing against type as Georgie Elgin, the dowdy wife of an alcoholic, she stunned critics and audiences alike. To prepare for the role, she spent time observing the wives of alcoholics in support groups, bringing a raw authenticity to her performance. Variety praised her eloquent portrayal, calling it a tour de force. The film grossed $6.5 million, impressive for a dramatic piece without action or adventure elements. On March 30th, 1955, she won the Academy Award for Best Actress for The Country Girl. At 25, she was one of the youngest winners in that category. The ceremony, held at the RKO Pantages Theater in Hollywood, was a star-studded affair. She beat out stiff competition, including Judy Garland, who many had considered the favorite for A Star is Born. In her acceptance speech, Grace said, "The thrill of this moment keeps me from saying what I really feel." The audience gave her a standing ovation that lasted nearly a full minute. Behind the scenes, she worked tirelessly. She often spent 14-hour days on set, followed by hours memorizing lines for her next role. She was known to arrive on set before dawn, often beating the crew to prepare for her scenes. By the end of 1955, Grace had become one of Hollywood's highest-paid actresses, commanding $100,000 per film. This put her in the same league as established stars like Marilyn Monroe and Elizabeth Taylor. She had also successfully buried any whispers of scandal, her public image untarnished by her private affairs. In just 3 years, she had gone from a relative unknown to an Oscar-winning superstar, setting the stage for what many expected to be a long and illustrious career in cinema. The Hitchcock years and royal destiny. In 1955, Grace Kelly's collaboration with Alfred Hitchcock reached its peak with To Catch a Thief. Filmed on the French Riviera, it grossed $8.75 million worldwide. The film's success was due in large part to the chemistry between Grace and her co-star, Cary Grant. Hitchcock utilized the stunning locations and her elegance to create a visually sumptuous film that audiences flocked to see. Hitchcock praised Grace's acting, saying, "She's the only actress I've worked with who has a complete understanding of the frame." This high praise from the notoriously perfectionist director spoke volumes about her technical skill and screen presence. Hitchcock would later admit that Grace was his favorite actress to work with, citing her intelligence and ability to take direction. During the Cannes Film Festival in May 1955, Grace met Prince Rainier III of Monaco. The meeting, arranged by Olivia de Havilland, lasted only 15 minutes, but would change the course of her life. She was in Cannes to promote To Catch a Thief and represent the U.S. delegation at the festival. The brief encounter with Rainier was initially seen as nothing more than a photo opportunity. In December, Rainier visited the U.S. on a tour to bolster American support for his small principality. He reconnected with Grace in Philadelphia, where he was a guest at the Kelly family home. After just 3 days, Rainier proposed to her with a Cartier engagement ring featuring a 10.47-carat emerald-cut diamond. The whirlwind romance caught the public's imagination, with newspapers dubbing it a real-life fairy tale. MGM, seeing a publicity opportunity, agreed to pay the $2 million dowry demanded by Monaco. They also negotiated to film the wedding, resulting in the documentary The Wedding in Monaco. This savvy move by the studio turned what could have been a loss, Grace leaving acting, into a publicity coup. Her last film, High Society, wrapped in January 1956. A musical remake of The Philadelphia Story, it co-starred Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra. The film would gross $13 million, becoming her highest-grossing picture. It was a bittersweet experience for her, knowing it would be her final Hollywood role. On April 18, 1956, Grace Kelly married Prince Rainier in a lavish ceremony watched by an estimated 30 million television viewers. The event was dubbed the Wedding of the Century by the press. Monaco declared a national holiday, and the celebration lasted for 2 days. The wedding required 2 ceremonies, a civil ceremony on April 18th and a religious one on April 19th. Grace's wedding dress, designed by Helen Rose of MGM, used 25 yards of silk taffeta and 100 yards of silk net. The dress took 30 seamstresses 6 weeks to complete and has since inspired countless bridal gowns, including that of Kate Middleton. After the wedding, Grace retired from acting at age 26. She had made only 11 films in her 7-year career, but her impact on cinema was undeniable. Her decision to leave Hollywood at the height of her fame was shocking to many, with some predicting she would eventually return to acting. In her final press conference as an actress, she stated, "I'm not leaving Hollywood. I'm simply going to a new kind of acting." This cryptic statement left the door open for speculation about her future involvement in the arts. As Princess of Monaco, she focused on charity work and cultural initiatives. She established the Princess Grace Foundation to support local artisans and artists. Grace also worked to modernize Monaco's constitution and economy, helping to transform the principality from a sleepy tax haven to a modern state. Despite her new role, Grace never completely left the world of entertainment. She narrated documentary films, gave poetry readings, and even considered a return to acting in 1977 for Hitchcock's The Short Night. However, public opinion in Monaco against their princess returning to acting ultimately led her to decline the role. They told her she wasn't pretty enough, soft enough, or ordinary enough for Hollywood. Angelica Houston proved them all wrong, and in doing so, changed the game forever. The Hollywood mold before Houston. Before Angelica Houston left her mark, Hollywood's leading ladies fit into a tightly controlled image. Studios set strict standards for femininity. Blonde hair, flawless skin, petite frames, and perfectly symmetrical features. Stars like Grace Kelly and Audrey Hepburn embodied these ideals. Elegant, graceful, and composed, they were cast as romantic interests, homemakers, or damsels in distress. Their roles rarely offered depth or independence. Studio executives held all the power. They dictated every detail of an actress's life. Contracts demanded strict diets and beauty routines. Marilyn Monroe's rise in the 1950s highlighted this obsession. Her platinum hair, soft voice, and fragile image weren't natural. They were carefully crafted by studio handlers. Behind the glamorous facade, actresses endured relentless pressure, invasive scrutiny, and the constant threat of being replaced by someone younger, thinner, or blonder. Those who didn't fit the mold were sidelined or given minor roles. The films reinforced these ideals. Audrey Hepburn's Breakfast at Tiffany's, 1961, gave viewers a quirky, rebellious woman. Yet Holly Golightly's rough edges were softened to appeal to mainstream audiences. Actresses like Elizabeth Taylor and Vivien Leigh took on more complex characters, but even their roles were sanitized to align with societal norms. Hollywood rewarded conformity and punished rebellion. Some women refused to stay in the box. Bette Davis and Katharine Hepburn were unapologetically bold, often clashing with studio bosses. Davis even sued Warner Brothers to fight for better roles, a move that earned her the label of difficult. Hepburn's androgynous style and assertive attitude brought constant criticism, yet their talent kept them in the spotlight, forcing Hollywood to make room for their defiance. By the 1970s, cracks began to appear in this rigid system. The counterculture and second-wave feminism demanded more authentic storytelling. Audiences wanted realism, but the change was slow. Actresses were still expected to meet impossible standards. Then came Houston, a presence so distinct she would challenge Hollywood's idea of the perfect leading lady. Born into Hollywood royalty, Anjelica Huston entered the world surrounded by artistry and chaos. Born in 1951, she was the daughter of renowned filmmaker John Huston and ballerina Enrica Soma. From the beginning, her life was anything but ordinary. The family's time was split between California, New York, and a sprawling estate in Galway, Ireland. The Irish estate wasn't just a home, it was a cultural hub. Artists, writers, and actors gathered there, creating an atmosphere brimming with creativity. Marlon Brando, Pablo Picasso, and Ernest Hemingway were frequent visitors, their larger-than-life personalities shaping Huston's worldview. She grew up listening to their conversations, absorbing their ideas, and learning to navigate the intense energy of these towering figures. Her father, John Huston, was a force of nature, known for directing cinematic landmarks like The Maltese Falcon, 1941, and The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, 1948. He was a genius, but also a volatile presence. John was deeply committed to storytelling and the arts, but he demanded excellence. His expectations often bordered on perfectionism, creating a relationship filled with both inspiration and tension. Huston later admitted that her father's brilliance both captivated and intimidated her. His fiery temper left its mark, shaping her lifelong struggles with seeking approval while forging her independence. Her mother, Enrica Soma, provided a different kind of influence. As a ballerina, Soma embodied elegance and grace. Unlike John's intensity, Soma's presence was calming and nurturing. She introduced Huston to the beauty of movement and artistry without the sharp edges of her father's critiques. Tragically, Soma's life was cut short in a car accident in 1969. Huston was only 18 at the time. The loss devastated her, leaving her to navigate early adulthood with a heavy burden of grief. It was a turning point that forced her to grow up quickly and confront the fragility of life. In her late teens, Huston began searching for her own identity. She moved to London and found herself drawn to the world of high fashion. Her striking, unconventional beauty made her a standout in the industry. Huston appeared in Vogue and collaborated with legendary photographers like Richard Avedon. She quickly became a muse for the fashion elite. Yet, the industry's relentless focus on physical perfection left her disillusioned. The obsession with appearances felt shallow and constraining, echoing the rigid standards she had seen in Hollywood. This disillusionment pushed Huston to reevaluate her path. She began noticing parallels between the modeling world and the entertainment industry she had grown up around. Both demanded conformity. Both valued image over substance. For Huston, this realization became a turning point. She decided to leave modeling behind and return to acting. This time, however, she approached it with a new resolve. She wouldn't rely on her family name or connections. Huston wanted to make her mark on her own terms. Early struggles and modeling career. At 18, Anjelica Huston made her acting debut in A Walk with Love and Death, 1969. Directed by her father, John Huston, it seemed like a perfect launchpad into stardom. Instead, it became a humbling experience. Critics panned the film, calling it uneven and uninspired. Huston's performance didn't fare much better. She later admitted, "I was out of my depth," likening the experience to playing dress-up rather than serious acting. The failure stung, but it made one thing clear: she couldn't rely on her father's name to define her career. Huston turned to modeling, where she quickly made an impact. By the early 1970s, Her striking and unconventional beauty drew the attention of the fashion elite. Her sharp cheekbones, piercing eyes, and statuesque frame set her apart in an industry dominated by soft, traditional beauty. Celebrated photographers like Helmut Newton and Bob Richardson captured her distinctive look, which was often described as powerful and androgynous. Houston's unique presence aligned perfectly with the avant-garde trends of the era. She became a favorite of Vogue and worked with top designers like Halston. Her face appeared on countless runways and in high-fashion editorials. Despite her success, the modeling world left her unsatisfied. Its focus on physical perfection felt hollow. Years later, she reflected, "It was just another form of the same thing." The superficiality reminded her of Hollywood's rigid standards. Both industries seemed obsessed with surfaces, leaving little room for depth or individuality. In the late 1970s, Houston moved to New York City. There, everything changed. Immersing herself in the city's vibrant art scene, she found inspiration among visionaries like Andy Warhol and the eclectic crowd at Studio 54. The city's energy was intoxicating. It offered freedom, creativity, and a stark contrast to the controlled world she had known in Hollywood and fashion. New York reignited her passion for acting, but this time she approached it on her own terms. A defining role. By the early 1980s, Angelica Houston was ready to act again. This time, she had a plan. She wanted roles that pushed her, ones that made an impact. Her comeback began with a supporting part in The Postman Always Rings Twice, 1981. The film, a remake of the classic noir, starred Jack Nicholson and Jessica Lange. Houston played Madge, a fiercely independent woman. The role was small, but Houston made it unforgettable. Madge wasn't meant to be a standout character. Houston changed that. She gave the role depth and defiance. Critics took notice. They called her performance raw and unfiltered. Even among the bigger stars, Houston's intensity stood out. She didn't fit Hollywood's polished image of leading ladies. Instead, she brought an edge, something authentic and real. Her on-screen energy mirrored her off-screen persona. She didn't charm her way into the spotlight, she commanded it. This film also marked a turning point in Houston's personal life. She and Jack Nicholson had met before, but during The Postman Always Rings Twice, their connection grew. They began a romance that quickly became the talk of Hollywood. Their chemistry was undeniable, but their relationship was anything but smooth. It was fiery, unpredictable, and often dramatic. Houston refused to be overshadowed by Nicholson. She wouldn't let their relationship define her. His magnetic personality didn't eclipse hers. Her independence added to her mystique. She wasn't just someone's girlfriend. She was carving out her own space, both in Hollywood and in life. Her performance in The Postman Always Rings Twice was more than a comeback. It was a statement. Houston wasn't interested in following Hollywood's rules. She wanted to break them. This role gave a glimpse of what was to come. Bigger, bolder roles were on the horizon, and Houston was ready to claim them. Reinvention in Prizzi's honor. Her breakout came in Prizzi's Honor, 1985, a dark mafia comedy directed by her father, John Huston. She played Meros Prizzi, the ambitious daughter of a powerful crime family. Meros wasn't like most female characters of the time. She wasn't sweet or moral. She was cunning, flawed, and unapologetically human. Huston brought the character to life with layers of strength and vulnerability, making her unforgettable. Critics loved her performance. They praised the depth she gave a role that could have been flat. Even with a cast that included Jack Nicholson and Kathleen Turner, Huston stood out. She later said the role helped her explore parts of herself she hadn't shown on screen before. It was a turning point. Her work didn't just earn praise, it made history. Huston won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, becoming the first in her famous family to take home an Oscar. The win was a triumph, but it was also complicated. Huston admitted it felt like a double-edged sword. While the award validated her talent, it also tied her even more closely to her father's legacy. What made her role as Meros so groundbreaking wasn't just how well she played it, it was what the character stood for. Meros broke the mold of a typical leading lady. She wasn't polished or morally righteous. She was manipulative, calculating, and deeply flawed. But she was also captivating. Audiences connected with her because she felt real. The Oscar win didn't just solidify Huston's place in Hollywood. It marked her transformation into a force of her own. She wasn't just John Huston's daughter or Jack Nicholson's partner anymore. The Gothic leading lady. In 1991, Angelica Houston took on a role that would redefine her career. Morticia Addams in The Addams Family. Morticia wasn't your typical leading lady. She was dark, mysterious, and unapologetically unique. For Houston, it was a perfect match. Her striking looks and natural presence made her the ideal choice. Morticia was a character who embraced her quirks, and Houston brought her to life in a way that felt authentic and iconic. Playing Morticia wasn't just about acting. Houston underwent a dramatic physical transformation. Heavy prosthetics helped create Morticia's eerie, flawless appearance. Tape was used to lift her eyes, and exaggerated cheekbones gave her a sculptural, almost otherworldly look. Houston described the process as exhausting but rewarding. "It was like wearing a mask," she said. Yet instead of hiding behind the makeup, she used it to enhance Morticia's personality. Her portrayal of Morticia was nuanced and layered. Houston combined deadpan humor with warmth and sensuality. Morticia wasn't just a mother or a wife, she was a force of nature. Her relationship with Gomez Addams, played by Raul Julia, stood out. Their chemistry lit up the screen. Their marriage, filled with passion and mutual respect, broke away from outdated romantic tropes. Morticia and Gomez felt modern, even revolutionary, in how they complemented each other as equals. The film was a hit, and Houston's performance received widespread praise. Audiences adored Morticia, making her a cultural icon. When Addams Family Values 1993 premiered, Houston's Morticia was even more confident and magnetic. Her sharp wit and commanding presence made her a standout in every scene. Morticia became more than just a character. She represented empowerment for anyone who didn't fit Hollywood's narrow expectations. Off-screen persona and public perception. Her life off-screen was as complex as her characters on screen. Her long-term relationship with Jack Nicholson became one of Hollywood's most infamous romances. It spanned the 1970s and 1980s, filled with passion and drama. Their connection was intense, but it was far from peaceful. Nicholson's infidelity caused constant turbulence. Houston, however, refused to be cast as a victim. In her memoir, she called their relationship complicated. She acknowledged their love but didn't shy away from its flaws. Despite the chaos, Houston stayed fiercely independent. She didn't let her romantic life overshadow her work. When the relationship ended in the late 1980s, she emerged stronger. Her image as a resilient, self-assured woman remained intact. Houston's honesty set her apart. In interviews, she was candid about her struggles. She talked openly about battling self-doubt, living under the weight of her father's legacy, and grieving her mother's early death. This vulnerability made her relatable. Fans admired her for speaking her truth in an industry where stars often stayed guarded. Her intelligence and sharp wit only added to her mystique. Her style became another way she expressed herself. Houston chose bold, avant-garde fashion over Hollywood's predictable glam. Designers like Halston, Yves Saint Laurent, and Valentino adored her. She made daring choices look effortless. On red carpets or in fashion shoots, she exuded confidence. Pioneering complex female characters. Angelica Houston built her career by shattering stereotypes. She chose roles that defied Hollywood's shallow portrayals of women, bringing complexity and depth to every performance. In 1990, she delivered two standout roles that proved her range. In The Witches, 1990, Houston played the Grand High Witch, a villain dripping with menace and theatrical flair. Adapted from Roald Dahl's beloved book, the character could have been a simple antagonist. Houston, however, turned her into something unforgettable. She balanced humor and terror, making the Grand High Witch both captivating and chilling. Scenes like her dramatic unmasking, revealing the grotesque witch underneath cemented her place as a childhood nightmare for many. The makeup process was grueling, but Huston brought the character to life with charisma and boldness. Fans loved her. Kids feared her. The Grand High Witch became one of her most iconic roles. That same year, Huston delivered a completely different performance in The Grifters. She played Lily Dillon, a con artist with a complicated relationship with her son, portrayed by John Cusack. Lily was manipulative and ruthless, but also deeply vulnerable. Huston's portrayal made her more than just a hardened criminal. She brought layers to the character, showing flashes of love and regret beneath the toughness. Critics called her performance one of her best. It earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress. Huston's acting style wasn't about glamour or charm. She leaned into her character's flaws, contradictions, and raw humanity. This honesty set her apart in an industry obsessed with polished perfection. Directors noticed. Wes Anderson later cast her as the matriarch in The Royal Tenenbaums, 2001, a role that showcased her ability to bring quiet strength to even the quirkiest of stories. Advocacy for women in film. In interviews, Anjelica Huston called out double standards, especially the industry's obsession with youth and beauty. Huston criticized how actresses were cast aside as they aged, while male actors kept leading roles well into their later years. "They want you to disappear after 40, she said, exposing one of Hollywood's most glaring inequities. Her advocacy wasn't just talk. Huston actively worked to create opportunities for women in film. She collaborated with groundbreaking directors like Agnès Varda, a pioneer of the French New Wave. Their work together, including the short film 101 Nights, 1995, was part of Huston's broader mission to amplify female voices in a male-dominated industry. She also tackled the issue of pay disparities, speaking out long before it became a widely discussed topic. Years ahead of the Me Too movement and conversations about wage equity, Huston was already pushing for fairness. Her outspokenness wasn't always welcomed. Hollywood labeled her difficult, a word often used to silence women who challenge the system. Huston didn't care. She refused to hold back her critiques, even if it made her unpopular. She believed in pushing for progress no matter the cost. Huston's courage inspired younger actresses to stand up for themselves. Stars like Tilda Swinton and Frances McDormand, known for breaking beauty standards and embracing unconventional roles, followed paths Huston helped pave. Huston's nonconformity. In Ever After, 1998, Anjelica Huston played Baroness Rodmilla de Ghent, the wicked stepmother. The role could have been flatly evil or cartoonish, but Huston added depth. She made Rodmilla cruel, yet human. Critics praised her for creating a character that was both detestable and strangely sympathetic. It was a perfect example of how Huston could elevate even the most familiar roles. This commitment to authenticity defined her work. Huston didn't just tell stories on screen, she shared her own through her memoirs. A Story Lately Told, 2013, and Watch Me, 2014, offered raw, unfiltered glimpses into her life. She wrote about growing up in a bohemian Hollywood family, navigating fame, and battling self-doubt. Her openness about her struggles resonated with readers. It reinforced her image as someone who never hid from the truth. Off-screen, Huston continued to challenge industry norms. She stayed true to her bold, distinctive style. Whether in couture or understated elegance, her fashion choices reflected her individuality. She rejected Hollywood's obsession with youth and glamour, showing that authenticity was more powerful than conformity. Huston's refusal to conform didn't just change how people viewed leading ladies. It reshaped the stories Hollywood told. Filmmakers began creating roles with complexity and moral ambiguity. Huston had shown that audiences were ready for characters who felt real, not polished. Actresses like Tilda Swinton and Cate Blanchett followed her lead, taking on roles that celebrated individuality over tradition. Huston proved that being different was an asset, not a weakness. By embracing her uniqueness, she thrived in an industry known for its harshness. Her career opened doors for others, encouraging filmmakers to tell richer, more daring stories. Houston didn't just break the mold, she created a new one.